Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to Big Think Dimension with Dan 9 Balls video game and Bob 9 Breaker video game.
I'm so excited.
Hey, I like pool and have 9 balls.
Oh my god!
Chris Wolfhard
Liz Conda forever.
and Dr. Agro
I have several co-hosts.
here on GigaBoots. Don't you think you're exaggerating the truth a little there, Agro? Like a few co-hosts might be more accurate?
Nope.
Okay.
I take my directions purely from strong, upstanding role models in the industry
Okay.
who never tell untruths.
No. The podcasting industry is one entirely built on the foundation of authenticity and honesty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Think Dimension. Bob and I haven't eaten anything. We've played video games. These are two different things we have done. We didn't do them at the same time. I'm so excited to talk about Armored Core. Oh, and if you're watching live, you can see the light came in after 4 months of being back-ordered. Not only does it look way cooler, it also is like much smaller and easier to manage. Anyway, I want to talk about Armored Core. So can you imagine my disappointment when I say Bob came through the door like 2 hours ago and he's like, hey, I bought the Beyond Orange Chicken from Panda Express.
Oh.
The worst part is this is a direct follow-up to me going, I know some motherfucker's gonna want me to eat the Beyond Orange Chicken from Panda Express.
Can we not now, we together,
As a
get
society.
beyond orange chicken entirely?
Wait. He's attacking my home-fashioned values. What are you talking about? Get beyond orange chicken.
First of all, sesame chicken is clearly the better sugar-coated chicken meal.
Fuck you. No, you are
a degenerate person.
You are disgusting
with terrible
slime.
taste.
No, I have enlightened taste. Orange is a perfect
You were
compliment.
about to tell a story about eating a degenerate version of a worse option.
Fuck you, man.
I have to side with aggro.
What? No, this is bullshit. Orange chicken is Bob.
I think the orange chicken here is better than any sesame chicken in town, but the existence of good sesame chicken is something that I believe in.
Bob believes in the existence of good sesame chicken.
I've had it in the past, and it was better than this orange chicken, but we don't no longer have that.
This is upsetting. I'm gonna have to start a poll. First time we've ever done a poll.
I'm gonna have to go grab a poll because
dude,
that was just downright insulting.
What do you mean that was downright insulting? You're the one saying
Look,
that
I just
orange
feel
chicken...
sorry for you.
You are a monster, and we're gonna move past that.
Oh, I feel so bad for you, Dan.
Orange chicken is good. What is wrong with all of you?
I mean, if you put any fried chicken covered in sauce in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
That's a fact.
Right.
It might be terrible, but I'll be halfway through it before I realize.
So, Bob,
What's up?
why did you do this to me?
Look, I was just ordering from Panda Express, and I noticed they had this option. And I was like, well, the audience would enjoy it if we ate this.
Yeah.
No, Bob, what you do if you're a real red-blooded American is you notice they have an alternative option on their menu and then go on Facebook to piss, shit, and cry about it.
Oh, you're right. I missed out on the opportunity. Oh, man.
I'm setting
We
up the
used to be a
poll.
proper country, and now Panda Express has a meatless option.
I thought he was changing my name to something mean on screen.
Also important.
That wouldn't play to listeners. That's the only reason I wouldn't. Well, no, I should do that. Damn it.
But yeah, this is really bad. Like this Beyond Orange Chicken is beyond like expectations of how bad it would be.
Is it the same sauce as the regular stuff?
Kind of, but it's now demented and weird.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the same sauce, but that's not. The crust is like hard.
I'm gonna try my best, okay? I'm gonna try my best to describe the experience of eating this, and this might not be a perfect description of the texture and flavor and everything else. Could you imagine they replaced the chicken inside a fried piece of chicken that you would eat at a Panda Express with burnt marshmallow?
Wouldn't eat at a Panda Express, but I'll try.
Oh, okay. Wait, have you never eaten orange chicken from Panda Express?
Once years ago.
Okay, because that's the orange chicken I like. I think I tried orange chicken once from Jin Jin's, and I was like, this is fucking awful.
Yeah, no, it's bad at every it's actual Chinese place.
All I can think of whenever Panda Express comes out is it's the one time I think of the Rick and Morty bit.
Yeah.
Where they bring home Panda Express and they're like, did you get sugar chicken? And the mom says, that's pretty much all they have.
I mean, that's true, yes. But yeah, the texture of nice chicken replaced with burnt marshmallow. Because the crust is now rigid. It has 90-degree angles. And it just collapses when you bite it.
Yeah, it's literally perfect cubes.
Like, I can get how what you're describing was a bad experience, but now I'm also imagining like a nice campfire roasted marshmallow, and then you burn it, and then you drizzle like orange syrup on it, and that sounds delightful.
No, it's not actually anything like a burnt marshmallow like Dan's describing. It's a weird, tough, gooey thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really...
Is it anything like... I don't know if you remember, you probably do, years and years ago, Tropical Smoothies. Terrible, terrible chicken that I think they advertise as actual chicken.
Yes, they do that. Yeah.
Alleged chicken.
I would say that is an upgrade over this.
Fuck.
Yeah. This is honestly the worst it's ever been. You recall, Bob, when we did the Beyond chicken from KFC.
Yeah.
And they completely fucked it up in Niceville.
Yes.
And then we went to Fort Walton because they closed the Niceville one before you could try it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Fort Walton one cooked it correctly at all.
Yeah.
That is the only product. The Niceville version is the only product I would put in league with this Beyond Orange chicken. It is vile.
Okay, so it sounds like this stuff might actually need proper preparation that we're not getting in our local job market.
If they had the same like texture, it sounds like it sounds like if you overcook or maybe undercook, it just goes south real hard. And since you live in Niceville, that means you'll never get to know what it actually tastes like.
And I assume this was just sitting around for an hour or something, because it doesn't taste fresh at all.
No, it was a stale cube we bit into and it collapsed.
I would put my money on overcooked.
Yeah.
Like that's just what happens if you overcook it.
Yeah, it could be overcooked, and then the outer layer of this Beyond Nugget or whatever just insulates the inside so much that it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think the worst part is the outer shell is just hard and gummy. Like, I had to go brush my teeth, which I almost never do after eating something, because it just literally was stuck. Like, I had this layer that I couldn't remove.
I was hoping he would leave that as a non sequitur. I almost never brush my teeth. Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible, horrible. You know what isn't terrible, though?
What's that?
Armored Core. Armored Core is great.
Yeah, Armored Core is pretty cool.
We played the first 3 games. I'm going to make this really simple so people can cope with it, because we noticed as we kept going live with what appeared to be the same game, people got really confused. The first 3 Armored Core games are Armored Core 1 and 2 games that are expansions, basically. It's the same game, but with a different campaign and extra features like an arena mode.
Oh, wow.
You can take your saves from the first one into those other ones to just bring in your overpowered ass mech.
And you better.
Yeah, no, they definitely expect it
one
in
of
some
those,
of that shit.
That's wild.
So the games are Armored Core 1, Project Phantasma, which is the one Eric joined us for because that was his first Armored Core game, and Master of Arena. Now, contrary to what you would think based on the names, Project Phantasma invents the arena mode.
Well, yeah, you gotta here comes the arena.
Right.
Yeah, you got to invent it before you master it.
Exactly. It makes sense. Master of Arena, you would think, okay, so Master of Arena must be the really arena-focused one. And Project Phantasma is just like, what if we told another story with it? What if I told you Master of Arena has a better story and a weirder arena?
But it is arena focused.
It has an arena mode they force you into for story progress. So you could call that more arena focused, but it's
like a tournament arc?
It is the quirkiest arena I've ever seen. Because Project Phantasma, you go in and they're like, here's the rank. There are like 50 people. You need to work your way up. Master of Arena is like, here are 8 guys. What do they mean? Who knows? Challenge them, I guess. And then you'll hit story beats where it's like, did you beat them all? Did you do it again? They don't have numbers. And it's not from a large pool. It's like 10, 16. It's really weird.
But it also has a separate mode that is just regular Arena. That's
true. They have Arena EX, which is the regular Arena. It comes on the second disc because there's that much value. We didn't even touch that shit. We just played the rest of it. Armored Core is exceptionally fun. This is a nice palate cleanser from Gears Month, where I don't have the world's worst story being shoved down my throat by a man with brick hands. I just get to play a fun game.
And that story that is there is insane.
It's really good.
The first mission in Armored Core 1 is incredible. It's like, do you want to kill protesters? Or do you want to kill... God.
Well, who
cares about the second option? I want to kill protesters.
It was a labor protest versus people who had been fired and would not leave the factory premises.
Yes. So squatters
is like a labor protest.
Yes. Armored Core 1 opens with those two options: squatters and labor union. Which one will you crush?
Considering that you can instantly hard lock your game by using too much ammo in the first mission, I think the themes of Armored Core become apparent right from
instantly.
The start.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. It's really good. It is very well delivered upon. Armored Core 1, as it turns out, is on paper, out loud. The text of the story is about ending the cycle of rebirth. As spoilers for Armored Core 1, a game that's definitely all about story. An AI is running the society to make sure no one corporation or person gets too strong and just keeps cycling late-stage capitalism because they're like, what? This is humanity. And I'm like, so you kill that and end that cycle. And I'm like, it's a fucking Dark Souls. It's always Dark Souls.
It really is Dark Souls. Like the late-stage capitalism part, that is literally what it is in Dark Souls. It's like, we're not continuing something good. We're endlessly extending the decline.
Yeah. So that was delightful to find out and funny as hell. Then we jumped to the third game because Eric couldn't join us for day 1 of Armored Core Month. He joined us for the next day. So we jumped from 1 to Master of Arena. Master of Arena has poison swamps.
Does this affect your mech?
It's radiation.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we make that make sense. It's kind of radiation, but they really just go, it's a gas that kills metal. And I'm like, you made Kingsfield all right.
That's just the air in Florida.
Right. So that was delightful. So far, I'm really enjoying the hell out of Armored Core Month. I think these are great streams and people should stop by.
Yeah.
Best part, we do Master of Arena. This is the best part in retrospect, in my opinion. We do Master of Arena. They have this cool guy named Nineball. And we have to keep inventing why he's called Nineball because the game will never address it. But he has, as though it was an 8-ball, but it's a 9. It's that cool. And I'm like, but the coloration on... Anyway. So, he's cool and he keeps showing up and he's our main rival in Master of Arena. We beat that game. There's cool lore. It's awesome. We have a conclusion. They did a thing with that character. We go to Project Phantasma. They have this guy named Stinger. We would call him 9-ball minor because he's just a worse version of the same idea, which makes sense when you play it in a row.
Stinger's really funny though because we kill that guy 5 times throughout the game and every time he's like, I'm not owned, and flies away.
Yeah, he just goes, you didn't actually win, and then he stumbles off. And it's really good.
If you didn't die, it's a victory.
Yes, Stinger's really just a positive dude. But yeah, no, Armored Core Month's going really good. Eric should be joining us for Armored Core 2 and possibly another age, depending on how fast we go through them, tomorrow or whatever, assuming those games show up.
If they actually come in.
And if they don't show up, because they were supposed to show up Wednesday or today, and if they don't show up, we're rolling the dice on a data backup playthrough, see how far that works. That's not served us perfectly on FromSoft games in the past, where Forever Kingdom worked perfectly fine for an hour and a half and then just broke and became unplayable. So hopefully it arrives in time. Either way, this month has just started and it fucking rules. I am so excited to play, 10, 11 other Armored Core games?
Something like that. Because isn't it like 17 total?
It's either 14 or 17. It's a huge amount. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you get the first 3, which we're done with, 2 2s, 2 3s, Nexus, Last Raven, and 9 Breaker, where you go 9 break his 9 balls. Then you get 4 answer on 5 and Verdict Day. So that means 11 more. That would make 14. We're also going to tap Formula Front, just like we did Gears Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for this month. This fucking rules. Bob, did you have any other comments?
No.
Okay.
These games are great. Everyone should try them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they're obtuse, but also fairly approachable. Like we didn't
look up pro strats.
Yeah, we didn't look up any pro strats. You can kind of just hit your head against this and eventually get enough money to make it succeed.
Yeah, just make sure you have at least 2 save files on your memory card. And you can prevent yourself from screwing yourself too hard. Also, they do something very kind in Armored Core 1 through the next 2 that they do not do, I think, in later games, where it's like, you bought a part. Oh, changed your mind, want to sell it back? We give you 100% of what you paid for it. So you can't at least equip yourself into debt.
Right.
It always sucks when games do that for no reason.
Well, the reason here is it would feed back into the motif, the theme of Armored Core. But they kindly didn't do it. Thank you. Jesus. Interesting thing about Another Age, one of the first online PS2 games in Japan, and either Another Age or 3 supports a USB mouse. So we're going to need to try that this month. I'm excited as hell. Anyways. Because I've been working on the Gears ranking video, which is, I guess, about 57% complete on the final pass. I haven't played anything else. I've just been working on that.
We did Pokemon Monday, so we played Pokemon Y.
There's a fat kid, he dances.
Yeah.
I don't...
Like, I don't understand why those 2 male friends exist at all.
Let's see. Calum and the Shy One.
Oh, yeah, that was the one where you just had this huge...
Yeah, they just immediately
gaggle
go,
of fucks.
Here's your gaggle of fuck friends. And I'm like, my what? And they're friends.
It's like they wanted to step up from Black and White.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, Black and White felt like kind of like they had like the 2 angles of rival, where you have like dipshit and one that is more let's say ambivalent towards you. And this is just like, oh, you're the new kid. Let all 18 of us follow you around.
Yeah. And it's also like, compared to basically every other Pokemon game to date, the wordiest Pokemon game while saying the least things. It's just like Tierno's here and he's gonna say his archetype thing we're doing, where he's all about this one thing. He will go on for paragraphs, and I'm like, please don't, please stop.
I feel like
X and Y feels like there was this weird phase that ended with Sword and Shield not having any time or money. So I guess it was only Gen 6 and Gen 7 where it's like, let's make these more traditionally RPG-y.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they didn't really do very good in X and Y. It was kind of like, let's just have people talk a lot.
It's
And
a real shame.
Did you meet Sephiroth on the first day of X and Y?
No, we didn't meet Sephiroth. I assume you mean Az, but I actually don't know.
No, I mean Lysander.
Oh yeah, we met him.
Where the first thing he says as he appears is like, we need to purge the world of the unworthy. And the guy next to him is like, you're my friend.
He's like, haha, we're in a cafe right now.
God, yeah, I remember that. It's like, oh, welcome to France. Everything's cool. I'm going to kill all the pores.
It's very subtle.
Game?
Yeah. Pokemon Y is the most clumsy we're trying to teach you about a thing in life. The split between the haves and have-nots, like, it's so weird. It's like, visit the ghetto castle. I'm like, it's still kind of like a castle, and they're like, go visit the real castle. I'm like, okay, this is.
I don't believe you could have late stage capitalism in a world in which any 10-year-old can go out and grab like a metal god demon from a mountain and train it to battle.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that stream has been enjoyable for completely different reasons.
Yeah, no, it's funny to go back to this game and be like, yeah, this is still sucks. Just the way we remember it. I'm like, we sure are in Viridian Forest. Everything's running bad.
Yeah, and then you hit those moments where it's just like, I remember when he wouldn't stop talking right now. He's not communicating any ideas. He just keeps going.
It reminds me of the Gen 3 remake where that also had just needless amounts of being wordy. Because that was the first time I played that. I was like, wow, now we're still going. Oh man, I don't like this champion much. He doesn't shut up.
I think I'm remembering why I don't remember this gen much.
I feel like it's a better situation in Gen 3, like Oraz. I feel like they do communicate their characters that aren't laughably two-dimensional.
Yes, luckily we have Wally, and he's amazing.
Right. Whereas, like, Tierno, Calum, White Bitch,
yeah,
I don't remember her name.
It's more like halfway through Gen 3 where it becomes the champion and 3 gym trainers talking about nonsense that is the end of the world, and it's like, come on.
I feel like that was the last bit of the game. It was like the last 20%. They need to have conversations about it.
Yeah, Steven Stone might talk a lot, but he also has incredible drip, so it's fine.
See? Tierno doesn't have drip. In fact,
he has a Metagross, so...
That is true. These are facts. But yeah, that's it for Pokemon Y from me. Bob.
What's up?
I'm going to ask Dr. Aggro what he's been playing. What you been playing?
Okay. Would you consider a poll to be a sort of low-grade video game? Because... I was recently involved in a poll.
Really? Were you now?
Yeah, a little bit.
You voted? Where's your sticker?
I don't believe in electoral politics.
Tell me more about this poll, Dr. Aggro.
Like everything that I remember, it proved me right.
Aggro, I would like to know, Sesame Chicken only won by 4 votes. There's a very small percentage, one with 53% of the vote. I feel like there's some legitimacy to both sides.
Look, I learned 2 things from the Fast and the Furious movies. Family is very important.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And whether you win by an inch or you win by a mile, winning is winning.
I guess, those are the core lessons of that franchise. That's true. Did you play anything else?
I picked a hell of a week to finally pick up Cyberpunk.
Oh shit, I forgot you borrowed Bob's copy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Right? I was like, that anime is coming out soon. I should probably finally play that game now that there's a stable next-gen version.
How is that stable next-gen version?
It's pretty stable.
Okay.
It runs. Like the biggest glitch I've encountered is every now and then I'll have to not put my cursor on an item to interact with it, but somewhere near the item.
It, yeah.
I mean, except for a few of like open world physics things where something goes a little bit, but that's basically been it.
Yeah, it was a real tire fire.
You can't even really hold that against games because like Bethesda games still have the thing where you touched something on the desk. Now every single thing in the room has jittered.
Yeah. So no, it's been eerie. Like playing this game, and I've become so used to hearing about it and seeing all of the weird, horrific, world-rending glitches. I just keep waiting for the walls to fall in at any moment.
The wallpaper starts melting
when all the trees start turning to goo, like they do in the videos.
It does that thing that I fucking hate in RPGs where it's like, welcome to the game. Please allocate your starting stats. How does anything in the game work? Fuck you. Please allocate your starting stats.
That's what your second playthrough's for. They built in replay value. That's cool.
I missed out on a cool ending that I could have gotten in the Outer Worlds because of that shit.
Oh.
But no, Cyberpunk is it's you can really see what happened. Like, oh man, I get what you were trying to do, and I can see how that sort of challengered in the middle of the sky.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good try.
Cyberpunk might be one of the only video games where you are playing just an E3 showcase where they go, don't worry, there's much more behind the scenes. And you go, no, this is the game. I'm playing it. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you get in that elevator or whatever, and it's like, what floor do you want to go to? There's one valid floor to go to.
There's always one button. I assume that's a Cyberpunk thing. Like, they read your ID and you're allowed to go to this floor.
The E3 builds, it has multiple buttons that all go to different floors.
I do appreciate that it's not as needlessly open world as it could have been, as a lot of games end up.
Yeah.
Where it's like, here's your main missions, here's some side missions you can go do, but you're basically just doing shit in order.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of the thing that upset people based on the marketing, because the marketing really tried everything to paint the opposite sort of idea.
The marketing made this seem like a game that could only be run by a quantum computer. I mean, brutally honest. It's like it's like the marketing was like, we recreated a futuristic city and every NPC has a life.
Yeah, once you stop,
and then they released a game that's like, and then they
Mm-hmm.
released a game that's like, this is kind of like a open world shooter thing with some RPG elements. It's not even as RPG as people would want, but
yeah, this is
kind of
pretty much GTA. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty good because they have you choose, what is it, your origin story?
Mm-hmm.
And when they talk about that before the release of the game, they're like, your origin story is going to have deep, long ramifications on the story you play through. And it's like, no, it's basically the difference between drive, take a bike, or Uber. You're getting to the same place.
And sometimes you'll say a cool thing that doesn't matter. And for all that, like yes, this game is not the miracle it was promised to be. It's all set dressing, but it's really nice set dressing, and I'm having a good time. The gunplay was, they do that thing that some games do where they're like, we really want you to feel the progression and getting better equipment by making your first few guns suck so much ass that it's not fun to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even after I got a couple better guns, I'm like, okay, the gunplay here is serviceable. And then Daddy got his first tech weapon and didn't have to aim anymore. So I pull out a shotgun. There's a big blue panel in the middle of the screen, and I just pull the trigger.
That's great. That's awesome.
It gives you armored core aiming?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's armored core aiming, baby. Cool.
Yep.
I'm very excited to eventually play that game I bought for like $7 during the year of sadness. That was them fixing the game.
Let me tell you, it is exactly as cool as advertised, of having Keanu Reeves just in your brain materialize now and then, swear, smoke a cigarette, and disappear.
That is pretty fucking cool.
It's pretty fucking cool.
As it turns out.
At least get to live out that one part of the fantasy they promised.
Hell yeah.
Man, I keep playing this game going, did they rip this off of Shadowrun, or were they both ripping this off Neuromancer?
Yeah, I don't actually know. I wish someone would tell me, because I would love to know.
It all goes back to Neuromancer, except for, like, there's the first two female characters you really interact with. I was telling Bob this earlier. You remember the Blade Runner?
Yeah,
the original Blade Runner.
Yeah,
the two female characters in that. You've got Pris, the one replicant, and then the woman at the Tyrell Corp.
Yeah.
Their haircuts are going to be in every Cyberpunk property until the sun goes out.
Yes. No, that's true. And that's just good taste. I'm sorry,
I walked in a building, I'm like, that's Pris. Okay, that's what time it is. Let's do this.
Yeah. And that's pretty great. I honestly think that's of all the things to take from Blade Runner, if you could just be like, these hairstyles must appear. And
Did Bubblegum Crisis steal the name Pris for the main character? And I'm just like,
yes,
okay,
100%.
Okay. I was like, is that her name, or am I remembering this wrong?
Yeah, that is. Cyberpunk is maybe the most incestuous genre.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I keep waiting for somebody to announce a Snow Crash video game. Let's just fucking go.
Did you play anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Let's take it over to Bob.
Sure.
Hey, Bob.
I played some demos.
That's great. Am I doing the slideshow now?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
The first one I played was Astergos, Curse of the Stars.
Okay, you post Dan, show the fucking screenshot. Whoever cut the trailer for this game should be given a fucking medal, because it so well hides what this game really is. It tricked me. I was like, this seems like a real game. How come I never heard of it? It's coming out of nowhere. Sees these screenshots. Oh.
Now, take it with a grain of salt. This is on my PC with low settings on.
And you have a
Okay.
1060, 1050?
1060, I think.
I was gonna say, I think I tried this MMO in 2011.
Dude, I fucking told him it looked like Sony Online Entertainment's tech demo for the PS3. I expect a camera to go down that ravine and them to be like, the world can change with the power of the cell process.
It does look like there's a giant enemy crab down there.
Yes.
Could be.
The demo for this came out like a couple days ago. The game comes out October 11th. It's very funny.
Is it written to be very funny?
Absolutely not. It thinks it's a Souls-like.
I can see that.
It acts like that. It has a stamina meter. You have the control scheme from Souls. You have bonfires. You can't jump.
Oh.
But it is extremely easy. You can pause, and as you see, it has bright colors everywhere.
Bob, these aren't bright colors. This is a gamma correction issue.
I know.
This is the most washed out, overly bright video game I've seen in a really long time.
I am having What in the Hell flashbacks.
I really, yes.
The way your character moves makes me think of What in the Hell game sometimes. She just sort of slides around in a weird way that doesn't seem right. The sword and shield is the worst feeling weapon in the game. Which is what they start you with for whatever reason.
Okay.
But you have like 5 weapons right out the gate, so you can switch it out. The spear I'm using has a parry, which is so overpowered they clearly didn't balance it at all.
Ooh.
You just twirl the staff, and then if they hit you at any point during the twirl, you can hit them for like 4 times regular damage. They ragdoll in hilarious ways. Like I have a ability where you show the spear, and there's like this big magic effect. The spear flies through like a wave of enemies. It waits a second, and then everything flies away. Like all of them, all the enemies just ragdoll away from you.
I'm tempted to accuse you of having gone to the Unity Asset Store and post these screenshots.
This is a game that's out now or out later this year?
October 11th, very soon.
This looks like a game that came out 9 years ago at least.
I know, right? I wish I could capture footage of this werewolf walk. You saw it, Dan. You walked over and saw him do his weird, like,
this was like, Bob's not saying anything to me. He's not like, hey, look at this werewolf walk. I just break down laughing because it looks like they're trying to animate him being a school bully. I do not know how to describe it. He's walking shoulders first, and he's like, "So, dude." It's fucking hilarious.
You fight a giant crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
It makes like hyper realistic crocodile clamping noises for its mouth clothing.
Well, that's great. Aggro's always complaining about things that are big. Just roar now, or
it rapid fire plays them, and I was cracking up while fighting this boss.
It's like chattering teeth sound.
Basically,
That's gonna Banjo Kazooie chomp chomp chomp.
See, I didn't get to hear the game. Maybe it is playing like a do 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 do.
If it had the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, that would make perfect sense.
It would. I'm looking at this. That would be perfect. That would make perfect sense. Yes.
You asked me while playing this if it was their answer to Cameo.
Yeah.
I say all this. I'm probably going to buy this game on launch because it's too funny not to. I want to see my PS5 play this in 4K at 120.
Oh, that would be great.
It also let me experience FSR 2.0 for the first time in a video game.
Ooh.
Which, if people don't know, what is that? Intel's?
Yes.
Okay, it's Intel's.
No, it's AMD.
It's AMD's
AMD.
answer.
Yeah. To deep learning super sampling, DLSS. 1.0, fun fact, FSR 1.0 is just an upscaling thing. It's not super technology. It's just like nearest neighbor, land coast. FSR 1.0. Splatoon 3 features that, by the way.
Oh, wow.
2.0, they try to use in deep intelligence and stuff a little bit. How did it look in your experience, Bob?
It was so hideous, I thought that my GPU might be breaking. It literally, the entire screen looks like it's mush.
Now,
like you turn your character into just goo.
Now, I preface this statement with, I am Dan Video Games, the official pixel bitcher.
Yes, absolutely.
But I've watched entire videos from Alex Battaglia comparing deep learning super sampling and other things like God of War's built-in temporal anti-aliasing solution to FSR 2.0, and I spend most of those videos just screaming at the screen because FSR 2.0 is dog shit. There was a recent video Digital Foundry did where they interviewed the guy from Intel. You know, they're doing GPUs now.
Yeah.
And they ask him, they're like, you guys are making your version. It's called XESS, which for people who are literate, that's just sex backwards with an extra X. S. Anyways, they are making their own, and they have the balls to go, so you're making the third one of these. What do you think is the justification for that? And I'm just like, guys, can we stop pretending it's because the second one looks like dog shit?
Yeah, the second one might as well not exist.
Right, like you're making the third one of these. Are we?
I would argue they're not. Yeah, that thing looks like ass. I'm really glad that you thought your GPU was dying.
It's like, this can't be how the game looks. What's going on? You get to the end of the demo. They once again go into, well, it's like Dark Souls. They make the final boss really hard, but then I figure out how the parry works and blow his health bar down to nothing almost instantly.
Ooh.
And then he becomes invincible and shows out an attack you cannot dodge and kills you in one hit. And they're like, you made him use his full power. Don't you feel cool?
Oh my god.
So that was what a fun game.
What was the name again for people at home?
Astergos, Curse of the Stars.
How do you spell that?
Asterigos.
Asterigos. Interesting. Okay. That's great, Bob. Thank you for the what you've been playing segment. I'm really glad. Oh, there are other things.
I did play some more demos.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll open this. What is this?
That is...
You know exactly what that is.
Link's Awakening?
I've seen a lot of games that
say.
aren't Link's Awakening before, but...
This is the most not Link's Awakening.
This is Link's Awakening DX. Thank you.
And this is Akura. It's AKURRA.
AKURRA. They just added one R. I swear to God, there was an Akura game on the 6th gen of consoles.
Probably.
I swear that exists.
Yeah.
More like Ocarina of Time.
I know, right? I was gonna give it a minute. Do you become the Akura of time?
This is actually fully a puzzle game. Like, it's all about block pushing puzzles.
Looks like Link's Awakening is fucking Lolo.
Lolo.
Yes. But there's like a big open world to explore that's filled with these puzzles. You play as this caveman. And you like ride around a giant turtle to get between different islands, different puzzles.
This fucking rules.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, I assume there's, from looking at the screen, a bunch of different box types that do a bunch of different shit.
Yes.
Hopefully, it has good music like Lolo.
Yeah, the music seemed pretty nice, and not. I mean, Lolo's pretty high bar there.
That's pretty good.
I'm not gonna jump to that immediately.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, you see the red thing on the left is a bell you hit, and it makes the red thing on the right disappear. And then if you walk on the shattered blue crystals, big crystals grow out of them, so you can't go back. So there's lots of puzzles around that, and then different blocks you can push that can break these blue crystals. It seems really neat. I'm really bad at this sort of game, so I did not get too far in it, but I liked a lot of what I was playing. And then I kind of hit a brick wall of like, I can't think through this.
Cool. I should really try this.
Yeah, I'm into this.
You know, I love Patrick's Parabox, and I also enjoyed, what was it, Baba Is You? So, this would be a nice follow-up to those, because weirdly enough, I played both of those this year, despite Baba Is You being the hit of like 2020 or 2019. What was the name of this?
Sakura.
Sure. That's legally distinct. It's got 2 R's.
But yeah, I was really interested in seeing how either of you reacted, because I know you're both way more into this sort of puzzle game than I am. And I found it really neat. Let me see, what next?
Super interested in that.
Oh, now we get to the demos I played from Sage, the Sonic something games.
I'm going to blow your fucking mind. You know what I saw on Twitter?
What's up?
Apparently, Blaze Hedgehog, as in secretly Chris Wolfhard, is a co-founder of Sage. I was like, excuse me? I had no idea. I had no idea Blaze Hedgehog was a co-founder of Sage.
That's neat.
That is.
Huh.
Ran into that guy's videos a couple times. What's up with this, Bob?
You get to choose 2 different bunny protagonists. This is called Code Bunny.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a 2D side scroller with lots of neat mechanics that definitely feel like an Indie Crates game, but you're limited, so you still have to platform, which helps a lot.
Oh, that sounds like
like not bad.
Like not an Indie Creates game at all, actually.
I know, right? But yeah, you do the stuff where you like have to hit the enemy with a tag, and then you can hit a button to do your quick draw sword technique and to fly to them. Like you can in the newest Indie Creates game, but then there's actually platforming built around this. And it was pretty fun. There are 2 different characters. The one I played as most was the sword using one, which you see in the screenshot.
They actually don't see that right now because I'm doing stuff.
Okay.
But they will in a second.
Sure.
Okay.
And she has like a Symphogear style to her armor. Like both of them seem to. The other one, instead of like teleporting to enemies, he like pirouette spins like he's a former ice skater or something, and it literally is that character from Symphogear that has the yo-yos and spins a lot.
Okay.
You like build up speed by spinning, and then you can do super attacks once you spun up and you do more damage. This game seems really neat. It's weirdly the artwork feels like nowhere near as good as the 2D art. Like when they go to drawn stuff, if you want to bring up that one, it's like laughably bad. Like I don't.
This doesn't look like the same game at all.
No,
I thought you had booted a different game.
Yeah, the 8-bit art's pretty nice.
Yeah,
or
I see that.
16-bit or whatever it is going for.
Don't worry, Bob. It's not confining properly to any generation. You're fine to call it whatever you want.
Okay. And then this sort of fan art lucky stuff is here for when you go to the between mission thing that's in Gunvolt of, hey, talk to everyone at your home base.
Okay.
But yeah, that seemed pretty cool. Next one I tried was...
Well, real quick, what was the name of that
This
again?
was Code Bunny.
Okay, it's just...
Yeah, just Code Bunny.
Is there a colon?
We got a colon, we got periods.
I don't think so.
All right.
Code is all caps, though.
Oh, great. Awesome.
The next one I played was Sakura Sx Clash or Sakura Clash. I don't know. I have no idea what people intend when they put this giant X in the middle of their logo.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's impossible to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is clearly a Neo Geo Pocket inspired fighting game.
No, really.
Yeah.
There's not an SNK logo in the background at all.
No, you can't even see it. It could be anything. Maybe it's 9NK.
Nine balls.
Lots of cool characters. Seems neat. If you like that style of game, go check it out. I'm not proficient enough in fighting games to tell you much more about it other than it seems cool.
Well, I have a few questions.
Yeah, what's up?
I assume it has supers?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's going for the Neo Geo Pocket aesthetic. Does it only have 2 buttons?
No, it says 4 buttons.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a dodge roll, kind of
Gotcha.
like King of Fighters.
Yeah, I always whenever I see this aesthetic or think about stuff like this, I always think about the Game Boy conversion of Ballerina Toshin did.
Ooh,
it actually was fun.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's not like some other Game Boy conversions.
Yeah, some like Mortal Kombat. Ugh. Fucking thanks, Probe Software. AVGN joke about anal probe goes here.
Thank you.
1 second, I got a button for this. I don't. There we go. Okay, anyways, Bob.
I love the ominous music in the background of that clip.
No, it kills me every time.
Do you have an and titties button to go along with it?
No.
The only other thing I played this week was they did that big update for Sifu, the summer update. Screwed that up.
Oh, yeah.
They added a new scoring system.
Mm-hmm.
And they add goals for every level for getting different score values. And you can even get a cool outfit for doing it. I don't know if I like the new scoring system. It's weird. It really encourages you not to finish the opponents off quickly, but instead to just keep pounding points out of them, which...
It's called the drive-ometer.
It's a little weird in the game so focused on, okay, you've hit this guy enough in the right way, now you can do your finisher.
Mm-hmm.
It's so strange to be like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to keep grinding them for points.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep kicking in the ribs. That's weird. They call this the Bonzo bonus.
But that's it for all I played.
Okay. We now go to Chris. Chris, what you been playing?
I played a lot of things this week. I finished Soul Hackers 2.
Cool. How was it?
I liked it, but boy, there's not a lot here. The thing that really drags it down is how simplistic the combat is, because they really just ripped out all mechanics. Like
from,
it had
Megaten 5.
Yeah, like I talked last week about how they have the combat system, but they never give you any more mechanics, so it's just like weaknesses and strengths barely matter.
Weird.
Especially since you have the commander skills, which there's a couple of them that are just a big damage button you can use like every so many turns. So it doesn't feel like you need to care about things nearly as much as in other games, which is especially weird considering this kind of has the format of like an old dungeon crawler where it's like it's difficult and you have to manage resources, except this game isn't really difficult because it doesn't have it's not like a Megaton game where things can wildly swing for or against you based on something bad happening, because in those press turn games, a critical hit also affects the press turn. So if an enemy crits you, they suddenly have more turns, and your ass can go down real fast. Or like Shin Megami Tensei 4, where they had the smirk system, where I forget how smirk works. I think when you hit a weakness or your strength gets hit, you smirk, which means all your shit crits. But you like there's no real mechanics. It's just real simplistic turn-based combat. And the dungeons are all bad.
Fucking what a non sequitur.
Like there's not a single one that has a good gimmick.
What a soundbite. Put that shit on the box.
Does they at least look interesting?
No.
Oh
God.
Like
okay.
the like one of the gimmicks in one of them are vents. You have to send your Skrunko through vents, and random battles happen to the party waiting outside the vent while you are guiding the Skrunko through the vents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's real hard to recommend, even though I liked the story and the characters and the music and stuff, because it's just so basic on the mechanical level, and these dungeons are really bad.
Okay. Yeah, that was going to be my first question. If the rest of the package swings it hard enough for it to overcome kind of mediocre dungeons.
The game that most comes to my mind is Tales of Berseria.
Mm-hmm.
Because both of these games had this moment where I was like 80 to 85% through, where I just like felt myself. It was like Punch Out Wii when little Matt gets knocked out and you mash the buttons fast enough for instead of falling, he like stomps his foot down really hard and stays standing.
Mm-hmm.
I had that feeling in both games of maybe I should just fucking quit.
Oh,
because it's like this is like I'm so deep, but at the same time this is kind of grueling.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what the fuck they were doing with this. Like I had, because so many people compared this to Tokyo Mirage Sessions, so I had to go look at footage of that.
I'm worried.
To be like, wow, Tokyo Mirage Sessions in terms of dungeon design seems much higher rent than Soul Hackers 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had completely different ideas of what level the dungeons in these two games were coming in at. Because when I think about Soul Hackers 2, I think about you were playing a JRPG, I think it was last year, that was very, very very thin, like budget put into dungeons, where it's just like it's the hallway, walk across the cyber hallway.
That was the Caligula effect too.
Oh
yes,
God,
that's what I was assuming.
This is like everything looks much better in this than the Caligula effect too. But in terms of like structure and the kind of things that are in the dungeon, it's almost exactly the same. Like I would compare the dungeons in this to like the procedurally generated ones in Persona 4, except they're not procedurally generated.
Wow. That is one of the worst things you can say about authored content.
Yeah.
I'd compare this to a rogue AI. That sucks.
Yeah, I don't like. I guess this must have been in development concurrently with SMT5. They should have waited until SMT5 was out to even start development and be like, now we can, because it's not just that they're hallways, they're boring hallways.
Yeah.
It's like, here's your abandoned subway line. Here's your shipping yard at the fucking docks. Here's your office building.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Here's your Mega Man .exe dungeon where you're walking on like hard light platforms in the cyber void. It's like none of these dungeons have any like interesting visuals at all to even try and cloak that they're just hallways.
Yeah, it was Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I remember even the one dungeon I saw there was actually cool looking. I don't remember it having a great structure or anything, but it wasn't a shipping yard.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. And they reuse some of the boring dungeons.
Yeah, I was really.
Like, what are you doing?
I was just really worried when you tried to draw a comparison between TMS and that, because I've been wanting to play TMS since launch and I own the Switch port.
Like, unless, like,
oh God, no.
I liked parts of this. Unless your like JRPG tolerance is really, really, really high, like you unless you're like Berseria was fine. Those fucking terrible areas were fine. That how slow you moved in them was fine. Unless you're like on that level, you're gonna not like this game.
Okay.
But I played other things.
Okay. What else did you play?
I played Immortals Phoenix Rising because it came to Game Pass.
I'm glad to hear about you taking a good nap.
Let's run through some things. One, it has the worst fucking name ever. I think the name probably doomed that game exclusively.
100%.
The whole game is framed as so Typhon, who is an actual like figure in Greek myth. He's one of the Titans. He tries to start shit and Zeus pins him under Mount Vesuvius.
All right.
But in this, a meteor hits Mount Vesuvius and breaks him out. So he fucks up all the gods, and Zeus has to go to Prometheus and be like, "Help me with Typhon." And Prometheus is like, "You tied me to this fucking rock and have eagles eat my liver." No. And he's like, "If you suck so much, maybe you should just let the mortals handle him." And Zeus is like, "The mortals can't handle him." Prometheus goes, "Well, if the mortals can handle him, you have to let me go." And Zeus says, "Okay, I guess." And the whole story is framed as Prometheus, who I forget. I don't know if Prometheus can actually see the future in Greek myth.
I don't think he can.
But he can in this game?
I think there's a couple of stories of him giving prophecies, yeah.
This guy was right.
So
he
he's telling the story of this shit that hasn't happened yet, and that's the framing device of the game. And the end result of that is that Prometheus and Zeus are narrating the game and are really fucking not funny.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks bad.
I read some stuff the writer said about how he wanted to include all the bad things the Greek gods did, and I'm like, you kind of did, but they're all punchlines.
Yeah,
it's all like, Zeus, did you turn someone into a fruit fly again? And Zeus is like, yes.
Studio applause.
And like every cutscene has this really, it's like Ubisoft making knockoff Blizzard content.
What kind of setup
Because
is that?
that's not just how it's like feels writing wise, it's how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Typhon just looks like the Warcraft version of Diablo. Like if you turned Diablo into like World of Warcraft art style, like the villain Diablo, the actual guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The villain looks like that.
Okay.
But moving on from the fucking terrible, unfunny narration and the fact that the entire game tries to be a really shitty Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Uh-huh.
You know how in an open world game you climb the tower and then the chunk of the map fills out and fills with all the points of interest?
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
They fucked that up.
How do you fuck that up? How does Ubisoft?
Because now you go into first person mode and have to scan the area and play hot and cold to find the points of interest and make them appear on the map. Which I think because you can set pins, you can do that and set pins in Breath of the Wild.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I
because this
think
whole
they
game
just
is
copied it without realizing why or how that wouldn't be a good idea.
Would Ubisoft really do that? Just whole cloth copy Breath of the Wild and not understand what made it special?
It also is you controlling a cursor in a Ubisoft game.
Right.
So it feels like fucking dog shit.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that this game has a linear progression system for your character. I like that you collect resources and then it's like, you upgraded your sword skill. Now all your sword moves do more damage. You upgraded your axe skill. Now all your axe shit does more damage. Or you upgraded armor. Now all your armor defends more. Weapons and stuff themselves don't make you do more or less damage. They give you different perks.
Okay.
So I like that element of it. I don't like that you have to go to like your home base to upgrade things. And I also don't like that every time you upgrade anything, there's an unskippable 25-second cutscene of the protagonist doing whatever it does to upgrade it.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Didn't know it was unskippable.
There's also just like really fucking amateurish things that you would take for granted in a normal video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say you're playing some game and you're collecting a resource you don't know what it does yet.
Okay. Happens
In a
all the time.
normal game, when you get to the point you can use it, you should, if you were even mildly strenuous in looking for it,
Mm-hmm.
casually searching, you should have enough to upgrade once, so it feels good.
Right.
This game doesn't do that.
Right. Of course it does.
You get to the upgrade zone, you're like, you're halfway there. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I'm halfway there?
Someday you'll be able to afford this. I've been saving every day of my life. Oh, shit.
General game feel is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like there's stuff, there's like a lot of direct ripping off of Breath of the Wild where you have the bracelets of Heracles, which there's one of those really I fucking hate how this became Ubisoft's brand of trying to be like the fucking class know-it-all when it comes to history. Because they do that a lot in the Assassin's Creed games, to the point where they introduced like the Zoomer Brigade in like one of the ones post the Ezio games where like half his dialogue was being snide about historical misconceptions. But there's like, Zeus is like, why are you saying it that way? And then fucking Prometheus is like, Heracles is how it's said. It's like, fuck you. But you have the bracers of Heracles, and those are like your magnetism equivalent of Breath of the Wild.
Weird.
Because they shoot out like beams, and then you can pick shit up with them.
Ah, yes.
It feels
from that
so
famous
much
Hercules
worse.
Story.
Yeah.
It feels so much worse than in Breath of the Wild. Like, it's slow. Any puzzles using it are excruciating because it's so slow. The responsiveness is in general pretty bad. They didn't understand how the climbing worked in Breath of the Wild, so they made a terrible version of it. Like, in Breath of the Wild, you have that stamina meter that determines how far you can climb before you fucking fall.
Mm-hmm.
Except there's tech in Breath of the Wild. Like, if the surface is even a little bit not straight, not vertical, like if it's even a little bit slanted, you can usually let go of it and tread water running up the hill to regain your stamina for a little while before you can continue climbing. There's none of that nuance here, and your stamina depletes super fucking fast. And because in Breath of the Wild, it felt designed. It felt like a human being checked this shit and was like, this you can climb up if you've even been a little bit upgrading your stamina. This one you haven't. Yada yada yada. In Immortals Phoenix Rising, none of that feels designed. And it feels like they band-aid it, be like, you can chug as many stamina potions as you want when doing anything.
God, of course.
Even Genshin Impact has that stamina potion thing, but they let you use one every 5 minutes. So you can't just infinitely chug them to climb the really tall thing. You have to find another way. And by the way, this game it feels less responsive and worse than Genshin Impact, a game that is online.
Well,
that has a connection to a server.
It does have a connection to a server, but none of the game state is saved server side per se in Genshin.
Enemy damage is.
Okay. But it's really not doing that much telemetry. It's mild amounts of telemetry as far as I know.
But yeah, this feels so much less responsive than either of those. Dear all platform holders, stop letting Ubisoft put their own overarching achievement system into their games on your platform. It's really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like doing something in a game and a gigantic 5 times the size of a trophy or achievement pop-up like interrupts from the side of the screen to tell me I got some kind of Ubisoft Club achievement. I don't care. Nobody will ever care. Whoever approves this, and like, what a failure of a company at every level for this to even exist. Like, you spent time and resources implementing this infrastructure and coming up with it. That was money just burnt.
Yeah. Made an executive
and lastly,
happy.
The menus in this game are terrible.
That makes sense.
One, they use the fucking Destiny cursor thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, let me use buttons. It's like, no. 2, because on the start button or options or whatever you fucking want to call that button, they put the system menu. Like, load from checkpoint, option, video, audio, accessibility. Dear all game developers, I need to go into that menu once, maybe twice. I need the map constantly. And the other menu, which is like map, inventory, skills, like one other thing, all shoved together, it doesn't default to the map. It won't even remember the map if you put it on there and then exit. It will default back to your inventory, which is insane.
Yup.
Very smart.
So I played this game for like 5 or 6 hours and then fell out.
Yeah, I think that's... Bob, do you remember about how long you played it?
Probably around that. Probably. Man.
I'd like to ditto everything he just said about the map for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah,
their menu is fucking awful.
They also do that fucking cursor shit.
They didn't even pretend to like fix it for console. And like every screen you go into in Cyberpunk has 2 options on it. So your brain goes, well, hit the bumpers. No, that takes you to a different tab.
Yep. I've seen that before and been very upset.
But these devs aren't even primarily PC devs, so they don't even have that excuse.
Uh-huh.
But I still wanted to eat like open world garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and installed Shadow of Mordor on my PS5 because it was a PS Plus game a while back. Or not Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, the second one.
Mordor.
Okay.
Never played that one.
It's really funny because it opens with an apology, like a pop-up. Because that was the one that launched with really terrible microtransactions.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it pops up with like, we removed all the microtransactions. We're very sorry that they were ever there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We've also made like all this other shit available as a result of, that. People rag on Arkham combat, but it's all right when you hit the button to parry someone and then also your ghost buddy parries another guy and then you turn around real fast and decapitate an orc. Ending in decapitation really helps sell the Arkham combat.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is Batman should decapitate people.
The menu in this one's fine. You have a button that goes right to the map.
Hey.
What a concept.
They knew they were making an open world game. Whoa.
It also does the hot and cold thing with the towers, but there's a couple major differences that makes it way more tolerable than Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
One, the cursor speed. The cursor moves like a console game cursor should. Two, it doesn't just use the vibration with the Phoenix, which is what the Phoenix Rising one does. It's purely vibration. There's a really good on-screen indicator. Also, there's not very many points of interest per tower because they're kind of closer together. And it tells you how many things you're looking for, which Phoenix Rising does not.
Like, it just lets you go wild. Like, surely there's 10 left. I gotta keep going.
That is amateurish.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm having an all right time. I like that they were like, well, this is the sequel, so Talion should just be Superman. He can run like the Flash and jump up an entire building fucking instantly.
I mean, yeah. You're making a game about this one guy crawling around Mordor, murdering thousands of orcs.
Yeah, I need to try that sequel. That does sound fun.
And it seems like you get cooler abilities this time. The Nemesis system is back, which was always cool.
Mm-hmm.
Except now, some of these fucking orc nemesis have like 3-minute long anime villain backstory speeches when they encounter you the first time. Like there's one who I forget his name. It was like Morgoth Maggot Hive or something like that, where he has a bunch of maggots living in him. And he gives like a 3-minute long speech about how he was cut down in the battlefield but brought back to life because these maggots all crawled into him and helped revive him, and now they're constantly wriggling, and he's going to make you feel that torment, Talion, and it just keeps going on. So he's saying this as you're like clashing blades with him. He's yelling it in your face.
This better be in that Wonder Woman game.
Weird that the SS general just kept going like that.
like the Nemesis system or being full of maggots?
Both.
They also added these effects where some of them will just show up while you're fighting other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, was like, no, I came back to kill you. One literally like ran up and shoved me from behind, and then the camera whirled around to show him, and he gave his little speech.
Uh-huh.
And one time, 4 of them showed up in one encounter, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go.
Yeah.
This is just a Monty Python bit at this point. Fuck this. I'm out.
Such a good mechanic.
Sheila being a sexy woman is fucking goofy.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
God, why do you know this is important to him?
That is the worst.
I'm having fun. I'll probably play more of it. It's funny because there's video modes because it was late enough. It came out late enough for that to exist, that to become, semi-standard for some games. But the video modes are favor visual effects or favor resolution.
Oh, so no 60, just...
I don't know. I can't tell if it's 60. I haven't looked at it hard enough. It might be, because I think it might have been. I think one of those might have been uncapped on PS4 Pro.
Okay.
So on PS5, it's just at 60, but I can't say for sure.
Gotcha.
And then let's talk about the last thing.
Should I pop up with a special dimension?
Yes. Yeah, you should, because this came out 7 years ago, but
I'm still gonna do it anyway.
You did it for Gears 4, and Gears 4 is 6 years old.
Here we go, guys. Welcome to the big spoiler dimension
for Life is Strange. If you care about Life is Strange spoilers, please abdicate until the big spoiler dimension is gone.
Once this music is no longer playing, you'll know we're out of the spoiler dimension.
So, Life is Strange is a episodic adventure Telltale type game. You play as Max Caulfield, and yes, that is a Catcher in the Rye reference.
I didn't cut back to the live action cam of Agro's face in time for that. Damn.
According to the director, the two biggest influences in Life is Strange were The Catcher in the Rye and Danganronpa.
This fucking bullshit. It's Donnie Darko and the Butterfly Effect.
And Twin Peaks.
And Twin Peaks, yes.
I went off this ride.
So the conceit of this is that you're Max Caulfield. You're a student at this fancy art high school that's in bumfuck nowhere town, Arcadia Bay. It's like up in the Pacific Northwest. It's Twin Peaks, of course. It's about so you get out of class and you go to the bathroom, and then the rich drug dealing fail son crashes into the woman's bathroom and starts fucking having like an episode in the mirror. And then your best friend you haven't seen in 5 years, Chloe Price, comes out and starts trying to blackmail him because she has dirt on him. And he pulls out a fucking gun and shoots her. Like by accident, he's like trying to threaten her with it because he's falling apart. He's like he's like a shitty, panicky fail son. And Max freaks out so bad she ends up back in the classroom 10 minutes prior and discovers she has the power to rewind time. So and that's the power and that's how she
how did I not know that about this game?
You know what's funny? How did I not know that about this game? When you see how that works out in gameplay, it is just also Remember Me, the game. But now it's like, well, we're rewinding time itself, not rewinding this cutscene on a VHS tape.
There's a real so she has these time powers, and I have to explain this now, where the time powers make no sense in how they work.
No, of course.
So not only does she remain wherever she is when she rewinds time, even if she wasn't there, like she herself is unaffected by the rewind powers.
Except for that first time?
Except for that first time.
Wait,
don't worry, there's a lot of fucking inconsistencies in this.
What? I was like, you just really said it wasn't how that works. The quickest way to understand her powers is to watch JoJo's Part 4.
Yes, her power actually does work like King Crimson, but going backwards.
Yeah. It's so incredible. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding.
So, and these come up in the puzzle, which is really stupid because I constantly had to be reminded, no, remember her powers work this dumb way. That's how you solve the puzzle.
I thought we were on part 5 now. That was JoJo's part 5. We're on part 6. Sorry, I thought Star Ocean was part 5.
Yeah.
All right.
So, for example, the solution to a puzzle is you have to, in one of the game's mini filler segments, there's a lot of filler segments in this game where it's like, walk around the environment and pick up items for 30 minutes.
Okay, I saw it'd be like filler in Dusk Falls where you follow a character who will never appear again.
Oh no, don't worry, don't worry. That kind of thing still happens.
No.
You thought you were safe.
You have so you gather all the pieces to make a pipe bomb to blow open the principal's door and search through his shit because you're trying to solve the mystery of this girl who went missing, you and Chloe.
But
that sets off the alarm and the police show up. So the solution is to walk into the office and rewind time to before you used the bomb, but you're still in the office, so you can just unlock the door and let Chloe in. The other thing that persists through the time travel is your inventory. So at some point you're trying to get into a drug dealer's RV. And so you're trying to get his keys away from him. And you're trying to be like, hey, can you let me have your keys so I can go pet your dog? And he fucking hates Max. He fucking hates the main character. So he puts them on his like this diner table and is like, I know you want these, but fuck off. So you grab them and he stands up like he's gonna hit you, and you immediately rewind to before you grabbed them, but you still have the keys. So you like telespawned them into your pocket.
Does he also have the keys?
It's not clear, because at the end of that segment, you throw the keys up onto the roof of a building, but he still gets back in his RV and drives it around later, and there's no line telling you how that was resolved.
This sure was a power set written by a writer.
So well, let's run down some stuff. The episodic nature feels like it fucked them, not just in the fact there has to be a bunch of these filler segments. It feels like they hung themselves writing wise, like they couldn't decide what they wanted and kept changing it during the development of these episodes. So all the parts feel really incongruous. Like they don't fit together at all. The writing in this game is really, what's the even word? Like, it has serious problems. It's not terrible, but there is real fucking problems. Like, Chloe, it now makes sense why people fucking flipped out about this character, both in liking her and despising her. Because she's relatable and sympathetic, but really unlikable. She's like a realistically written teenager where she's fucking stupid. She acts really tough, but is actually naive and emotionally vulnerable. She makes really dumb decisions.
Also, she is the one who says hella and stuff like that in a way that's really forced and kind of hits you over the head the second she starts talking in the game.
She says hella constantly.
Yeah, I actually watched the beginning through a Ross's Game Dungeon review right after Chris played it. And I'm like, man, it's just frame one, hella.
I'm like, the kids say hella, but it sounds like it's coming off. Like, you ever watch a sci-fi original movie about teenagers and they invent a fake slang term for them?
Yeah, it's coming off like that 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of this world.
Razor.
A lot of this world comes off in that exact way.
And it has a bunch of other characters, and it feels like they should be fleshed out over this game's 11-hour runtime. But they aren't. Like, that time is used for filler. Like this one part where Chloe wants to shoot bottles at a junkyard, so you have to walk around and find 5 bottles, including one which is hidden through a squeeze-through that you have no reason to not believe should exist.
Okay.
So instead, in that episode, that's episode 2, it opens with like a couple scenes with this girl named Kate, and then ends with her trying to kill herself on the roof of the school because she had been drugged at a party. And then you can either save or fail to save, prevent her from killing herself, and then she leaves the story either way because it's a because this is one of those. None of your choices in this game matter at all. They try really hard to trick you into thinking that, because they'll have a character mention which one you picked later, like in an offhand piece of dialogue, but none of them matter. Like, the moment a character can live or die, they immediately disappear from the story once that happens.
Yep.
Every choice you make is immediately negated by something. This game, like, if you put a gun to my head and there's like, what is the theme of Life is Strange? I wouldn't be able to tell you, because it really just feels like a bunch of stuff that happens.
Maybe that's the lesson.
Maybe
life is just a bunch of stuff that happens.
So at the end of episode 3, because a bunch of stuff in episode 3 is Chloe being like, I wish my dad was here. He died in that car wreck, remember? And then my mom married my stepdad, who is a Nazi. He's not really a Nazi. It's weird. The stepdad character is one of the parts where the writing like falls apart, kind of, because I understand what they're trying to do, because in the first bunch of times you see him, he's like an authoritarian dickhead. He's part of the security at school. He's a veteran. He has like warning, I don't call 911 stickers on his car. He has a gun case in his garage. But they're also like, no, he actually has like severe PTSD, and like his weird oppressiveness is actually genuine concern, because he has PTSD. But then they like make him outright abusive and like backhand Chloe. And it's like, you can't. And then at the end of the game, they try to get you on his side. Like he shows up to save the day even. And I'm like, this would be a nuanced character if he hadn't physically hit her. But it just all got washed away because of that. And that's like every attempt at having a nuanced character where it's like you made them too cartoonish for it felt like the goal was you will hate him for like the first 60% of the game and then slowly find out, no, he has these issues and isn't actually so bad. He has redeeming qualities. And there's a couple characters like that, but they all get fucked by the cartoon moment. Like the Fail Son character, they try to make him sympathetic by, it's like his dad fucking obviously hates him. He's on like anti-hallucinogenics, like anti-hallucinatories, and like he has all these actual psychological problems. He's in therapy. And he deals drugs and stuff so he can be popular. But then he kills a girl with an overdose. Like he that's how the mysterious missing girl died. Because it's like Twin Peaks. You have like the perfect girl everyone loved who went missing, and you have to, and part of it's solving the mystery, and to really and a lot of the stuff is at the diner. And then want to hammer it home, Chloe has a fucking license plate that says Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that was impressive.
How Kafkaesque.
Also, this game, like the filler is obviously a sign of having no money. It really fucks over the game when you get to Nathan. That's the drug dealing, roofying Fail Son's name. You get to hit the survival bunker his parents had built, which he was basically using as like the roofie cave. And it's like a really high tech.
The roofies there, right?
No, it means that's where he takes people after he roofies them. But that's another thing. They like have all this sexual assault stuff set up, but then they don't make it sexual assault. They make it, well, they just drug the girls and then take pictures of them fully clothed in like positions because they're photographers. So it feels like they wanted to. It feels like they were like, we want this hacky, lurid angle, but we know that plays really badly with the audience we want. So we have to pull it back. And it just is kind of weird. But the point I was getting to is, you read a note in the photography bunker, which implies that Nathan has actually been being groomed by someone. He isn't the mastermind. And I go, oh, it has to be this character because he's the only guy left. They're not going to introduce a new character. And that character is the hip art teacher who in the very first scene of the game is in his class. And I went, man, he seems creepy. He's also exclusively calling on the girls in this class.
Yeah,
because he's doing like the hip photography teacher. We're all sitting in a circle. I'm sitting on the desk and crossing my legs, and I have a goatee and I'm artsy.
And the preppy chick knows me by first name.
The preppy chick, the preppy chick has been tries to fuck him the entire game. He's the secret mastermind and is not only drugging these girls to take pictures of them, he's also a serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
And also, like, authoritarian security stepdad also picked up on how creepy he is because you find notes he wrote about hating this guy. And he's like, never trust an adult with a goatee. But on the point of it just being a bunch of stuff that happens in chapter 3, Chloe's like, I miss my real dad. So you focus really hard on this picture that was taken between you and Chloe on the day her dad died. And you go back in time to the picture. You can't, like, her power doesn't let her leave the frame of the picture, but she can affect things in the past with the picture. So you hide the dad's keys because he died in a car wreck. You like hide his keys so he can't leave. He has to take the bus. So he doesn't die, which, by the way, the developers of this don't understand how causality works. I was yelling during that section where I'm like, no, I delayed him by half a minute. The car accident should no longer occur.
Right.
But that's not how it works. You have to, he can't leave the house in the car at all.
Yeah.
Because it was fated.
Right.
Yeah. Because they're hacks. Yes.
Getting in that car
but
accident
anyway,
was a
you
narrative
do
thing,
this.
and that's how the universe works.
You do this, and then you get like the, I once again have to bring up this fucking movie.
Uh-huh.
I forget the name every time. It's the ham radio movie where he talks to his dad in the past.
Frequency.
Yeah, Frequency. It's like Frequency. But we see it through pictures of the pictures like changing into different pictures of how her dad's still alive. And then Max like wakes up in the new timeline where she's one of the popular kids and smoking weed with all of them. And it's not, they seem to want it to come off like she's meaningfully different in this timeline because her memories don't change. She's just plopped down in the new timeline.
She's just as bland in every timeline.
But it honestly comes off like, no, everybody is nicer and more chill.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come off like she is now shallow and vapid.
And it's like stark. Because the beginning of this game, everyone's inexplicably a giant asshole.
So this one man was the only thing keeping this community chill.
This town fell apart.
Was he this whole mountain town's weed connection? Is that what I'm picking up on?
So you go back to Chloe's house, and this is the end of episode 3, and you answer the door, and her dad answers like, "Hey Max, it's been a while." And then they do the shot where they don't want to show Chloe as she approaches. And I go, Aggro, what do you think the reveal is going to be? She's approaching. Max has like a kind of a shocked look on her face. They're deliberately not showing you what Chloe looks like in this timeline. What do you think the reveal is?
I mean, without any specific details before, I'm going on slider rules. So she's a communist now. She's a dude now, or she has an eye patch.
She got in a car accident after she was 16 and is now quadriplegic. This doesn't matter at all. It is there, so for the first 30 minutes of episode 4, you can hang out with her, find out her respiratory system is slowly failing, and then she asks you to kill her. She asks you to turn the morphine drip up to like, you know, overdose levels and let her die.
Yeah.
So you get the choice of on whether or not to commit cloent, as the chat started calling it. So it doesn't matter what you do. Max focuses on the picture and lets her dad die and goes back to the original timeline.
Yeah, because that's how that works. There was no other way to solve that.
No, nothing else can be done.
You shouldn't have messed with time travel past a certain arbitrary extent because it was morally wrong. So bad things will happen.
Aggro, don't worry. The last chapter of the last episode of this game is so Max gets drugged by the evil teacher and taken to the fucking photography bunker. You have to do a really funny scene where security dad shows up and you have to like yell advice to him and keep rewinding so he can win the fight against this art teacher.
Kick his ass.
It's like dodge, kick the table, and I kept fucking it up, so he kept getting owned.
It's even better because you know it's him entering the building before you could possibly see him. So when you do the loop more than once, on the very first time you're looping, you get the option to yell, David, or whatever his name is, he's in the room. And the art teacher just goes, how? How did you know that? And so as Chris is looping this dozens of times trying to figure out exactly what this persnickety terrible game wants. he has to hear the line. How did you know that? Over and over.
Yeah, I think maybe I need to isolate that so Dan can get it as an audio clip for the soundboard. Just start mashing it every time a character. There's one of those I saw the script moments.
Right.
So through the whole game, the game starts with Max having like a hallucination of a big tornado wiping out the city. I mean like category like 8, like 3 above the act is what actually exists.
Mm-hmm.
And through the whole game, like a new weird thing happens every day. Like on Tuesday, birds are just dropping dead. And also it snows in October. In episode 3, whales start washing up on the beach dead. Like multiple of them. And this culminates with Max, your time travel powers are cause a giant tornado that's going to kill everyone in town because chaos theory.
No.
There's no explanation of this. Okay, so the way this is revealed, the way this is revealed is Max is like, I don't know why this is happening, and then you talk to like the nerd guy friend, and he's like, it must be chaos theory. That must be what's causing this giant fucking magic tornado. And all of this is to set up the fucking final choice of the game, which is to go back in time using the photo magic to the start of the game and let Chloe die, or to let the town be destroyed and everybody in town die and leave with Chloe and be lesbians, which by the way, they don't like, there's no chemistry between these characters. Like playing it, I was like, I don't know why everybody assumed that this was like a lesbian game until the end, because it's like, it doesn't come off that way at all.
There is no chemistry there. It's fucking insane. It literally is on par with Gears 3 ending when they're just like, Marcus got a case of the not gays with Anya. And I'm like, there's nothing there, game. Why did you invent this for the ending? So I was equally floored when I come in and then that happens. And it's like, but that... So
and that leads to the only thing I can even pretend is the theme, which is sometimes you have to let people go, because in every episode there's like, she gets shot in the first episode, you have to save her. In the second episode, she can shoot herself shooting the bottle. She shoots a car and it ricochets off and hits her. And she falls on fucking train tracks and gets stuck and as a train is coming and you have to save her from that. There's the thing where you change the past and now she's quadriplegic and wants to die. And then she dies like in 2 other ways in the remaining episodes. So it literally feels like, no, the universe just needs this girl to die.
Right?
So you can imagine my frustration.
I was like, bye, Chloe.
You can imagine
I'm not...
my frustration.
Go ahead, Dan.
As Chris hasn't seen Donnie Darko, as I'm just like, oh, that could have been a whole other layer of upsetness here.
Oh my God. No.
Can you just say that to the game?
I'm doing it. I'm not saying it, Bob. I'm declaring it.
It's worth noting that letting Chloe die fixes everything.
Mm-hmm.
That girl who kills herself, or not, she died for me because I picked one of the wrong dialogue choices, and it doesn't let you rewind in that segment.
Because
she doesn't kill herself because Nathan, the fail son, gets arrested immediately, and he immediately rats out the art teacher who also gets arrested. So her victimizers are arrested, so she doesn't feel the need to take her own life, because she learns what happened to her because she wasn't sure. She just knew she got drugged. She learns what happened to her, and they got justice, so she doesn't kill herself. They are immediately removed from the equation instead of hurting all these other people. And it's like, what is the moral of this game?
Yeah.
So your options are let this whole town get destroyed to save Chloe, or let her die because it would be more convenient for everybody else around her.
Let her die because...
Yeah, it really comes off like this tornado is because Max fucked up destiny by saving Chloe from being shot in that bathroom.
Now,
I was gonna say, like, how does this? one change to time stop the tornado. It feels like you're just
because
adding more
that was the first thing that you changed.
Yeah, that's
so
the
you
first
go
thing
back
that you
and
change.
and you're like, I'm not going to use these powers.
Now I have a way, okay, to raise this game several points. Okay, in any of these other situations where Chloe dies, they should have played a theme song and smashed the credits. And then when the final part does the same thing, and that is the ending, you'd be like, I get it.
Let's talk about the most upsetting part. So, aggro. The end of episode 4, Chloe, the evil teacher sneaks up behind Max and sticks her with a needle with morphine or whatever to knock her out, and then shoots Chloe in the head and drags her off to this photography bunker. And the opening of episode 5 is like escaping. And you escape by using a selfie you took in the first episode to go back to the start of the game and send a text message to the security officer, the security dad, telling him where this bunker is and who the culprit is, and that immediately fixes everything because he immediately opts to it because he loves arresting people. Then later, and this also results in Max winning the photography contest. It is like a background thing in the thing. So back in the original timeline, she's in she's in like San Francisco because she won the award and got to go to the award ceremony in San Francisco because her photo got put up in like a museum. So then she gets a call from Chloe during the tornado that is destroying the city, and is like, I need to fix things so I can be there when this happens. So she jumps back to her award-winning photo, and then where she had just taken the photo, she uses an instant camera, and then she rips the photo in half so she can't turn it in. So when presumably when she returns to the timeline, she'll be back in town instead of in San Francisco because she couldn't have won. Somehow that negates the timeline where she ratted out the art teacher, so she wakes up back in the fucking dungeon. And that is when the security dad through the fight happens.
I want to issue an apology I never thought I'd make. This apology is to the movie The Butterfly Effect. You're not this stupid, and I know I've made fun of you the entire podcast network. Like the entire run, I've made jokes about The Butterfly Effect, and I feel like it is dumb. It is really dumb. But it's not that level of dumb plus bad JoJo stand dumb. Like there's and there's like a really bad stealth sequence in the last episode where you're like, it literally was like a segment in The Evil Within 2. If you played The Evil Within 2, there's like a really set PC segment in the start before you get into like the semi-open world. It felt a lot like that, but worse. And this pissed me off. In that stealth segment, you can find a bottle and investigate it and like look at it. And Max goes, "Bottles again? This must be hell." And I'm like, "You don't get to joke about the filler you made me do."
Like I firmly believe that everyone should be allowed to make whatever horrible and degenerate art they want.
Right.
But I'm starting to get closer to being okay with the idea that you have to fucking sign up to write time travel fiction.
You need to be approved by a board.
Screened.
You must be registered.
So that was Life is Strange. I thought there was parts of it I liked where I thought it was funny. I think Chloe is a well-written character. She's the only one in the entire game. I think other characters approach being well-written, but they all have that bomb somewhere on them where it's like the character fails to land the way you want it to because you went too far. And then there's also the problem that Max herself is not a character at all. Like you get the powers immediately. Like you start in the class, there's like 5 minutes, you go to the bathroom, Chloe dies, come back. Okay, now it's about these powers. There should have been like at least half an hour to 40 minutes of establishing Max as a character because we don't get that. So I'm like, who is she beyond likes photography? So that's it. That's everything I played about it.
Great.
I think that might be time for something.
Oh fuck.
Maybe Vastopod Lourdes?
Wait a second. Did you just say Vastopod Lourdes?
Yes.
Vastopod Lourdes. Yes, that's right. The Vastopod Lourdes.
I was expecting some Bleach song.
Be patient. You can't rush Vasto perfection.
So we just vibing?
I mean, it is gimmick music, so it makes sense.
Right.
But yes, that's right. The Vastopod Lourdes. Vastopod Lourdes, such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, Borbup, Red Blaze 27, Suzushiro, Emperor Zero, Shibuya Gato, Bendy, and Life is Strange, both proving that episodic game dev is a mistake. Milady calling you a slur for wanting to save the world ASMR.
Yeah.
101 Shades of Wonderful remastered. WTF, Spider-Man. The next fake character is gonna be wild.
No.
Here we have a giant enemy Croft. Attack at super effective point for massive damage. DFW 3K. Rip. Pick unrelated. Americans get 5 platinums per console is a statistical error. Dan Video Games, who gets 5 platinums a year, is statistical. Man, let me tell you, the $8 I spent on this cigar, it really got some mileage. Yes. That picture is just gold. Kristen. BN12. Figma Demifiend Nocturnid Raido Kuzunoha Devil Summoner Serotonin Edition. Hey Raven, it's me, Stinger. I'm gonna keep showing up, be annoyed with you, and job to you every time, and then just die. Hey Adam, you misspelled Jared. It's J-E-R. Kyle Bjork. Maddie Moe. Iron Aggro. Blig the Blue. Schligda's Poo. Monster Hunter Ryzen and Raiden. Corone's Genesis.
Yeah. Now that's blast processing.
Cooper Tank. The End of Vanquish was written by Neil Breen, and no one can convince me otherwise. Hey. He do be drinking, though. Indigo Sykes. 187 on an undercover Woomy. Did you know it is really easy to hack a 3DS? I'm sorry, it's Florida. Whether it's inside present or outside, it all looks the same. AI ho. A raccoon that is enjoying some board and card games. Shinji 16 is no longer unemployed and now has the power of Lexi to support him.
Ooh.
Look at this baby!
It's very nice. Very round.
It's so adorable. Do. My mortal enemy. Don't worry, it's still 343.
Of course.
I thought you believed in gun control. Yes, I believe I should control the gun.
Yep, that's literally something she says, which leads to the video. I don't have a link, but somebody made a video pointing out everybody in Life is Strange talks like a Homestar Runner character. and then is them doing imitations over the game.
Oh my God.
The Super Meme. Lane's World 25. When the funny rat says Pika Pika instead of big ass true. Sarlene. Timothy Pfister just got a job at Nisa, and his first task is to destroy every imported copy of Kurono Kiseki with a hammer.
Yeah.
At least Reen's enjoying it. Bearded Joe. Pleochrome. Krunglespun. Zemnis. Darkness Zemnis. French. You know what? I just realized I can correct this Podlord image live. This is really easy. So
I was so happy to see that drawing on Twitter. That just came flying out of the past.
Can't escape. I honestly forgot when I said that.
I think that was aggro, actually.
No, that was Bob. That was the ruin your childhood Kiwami.
Yeah, someone tweeted that at me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there he is.
There we go. The noodle piece is real, and Lord Richter has crafted the perfect thumbnail image. Thank you very much to our Podlords. Oh, wait.
Thank you, Podlords.
Mucho gusto, Vasto Podlordes.
Mucho gusto, Vasto Podlordes.
Mucho gusto.
And if you'd like to undergo holification and become a Vasto Podlordus, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GBpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging Bleach, our Bleach review show where you can learn all about Vasto Podlordus, extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions, and those shows force us to leave ideas on the cutting room floor, and a patron exclusive show one a month where you can devote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. The last thing we had to watch was MacGruber, which none of us can remember a single thing about it by now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's patreon.com/GBpodcast. And if you don't have any money, it always helps us immensely to simply spread the word, rate us on Thursdays, host us on Thursdays before they remove that feature. Just tell people, and that always helps a lot. Patreon.com/GBpodcast. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, everyone gets to enjoy MacGruber this weekend. Good for them.
That's the word for it.
Yeah, that's the word for it. Absolutely. We had some news.
We did.
I'm so excited for the fucking news. Oh, I can drop that spoil image. I can get rid of this text talking about we're going to spoil all these bad movies. Oh, that's not true. There's only one bad movie in there, Butterfly Effect, and we all know who it is. God. What? He's done talking about Life is Strange. I get to go back to beating the Butterfly Effect. I issued my apology. Now I get to unofficially recant it. Anyway.
Oh, God. That had the same mechanic of looking at a picture and you went back to talk to that. God, what a hacks. Is it a picture? Oh, my God.
They look like such big, strong bricks.
Breaking news. Actually, not that breaking. Overwatch 2, to get the heroes, you have to do the battle pass, but you don't need the premium tier of the battle pass.
Okay,
but no, because you know how Blizzard balances new characters,
I do.
And they're presumably they're always just going to put it at the end of the battle pass. So it's like, hope you grind long enough to be acceptably able to defend yourself in the current meta.
Yeah, and there's no like they don't have loot boxes anymore, so who knows how insane they're going to be with like trying to wring money out of people via this battle pass. And also a new hero leaked.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to post her pictures, which you cannot show under any circumstances unless we get in trouble.
Yep. Oh, we definitely don't do that here on Big Think because of that exact thing.
Are you sure this wasn't my pitch?
She's a fox girl ninja named Kiriko.
I just saw the image and I'm like, damn, Bob's gonna be real happy about this one. And then Bob brought that up and I'm like, oh God, that's right.
I guess it's time to make the donuts.
Holy shit.
I hope she wants a hamburger.
They called her a fox, so she's not Can-As cheeseburger. It's not exactly the same.
Sure, it's not. Let me just pay for that skin. I'll do it.
Yeah, no, that's the
Oh God, she's definitely gonna have a Catgirl skin, so it's close enough. Once again, Bob Stradamus.
I know, right? Jesus Christ. We're going to move on real quick. Deviation Games, most people who hear this sound coming out of my voice aren't going to know who the fuck they are. That was the studio made by former COD people. Bob, do you remember? So they're doing a partnered game with Sony. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
My head went all the way back to the Vita game called Little Deviations.
Little Deviants.
Little Deviants.
Little Deviations. We drew a straight line and then a slightly curvy one. We have deviated slightly. Jason Blundell has departed from there. He used to be he was co-founder and was at one point, let's see, I'm going to get the exact phrasing on this. He was at some point basically the lead on whatever game they're working on. But he apparently has been replaced in that role for the last year at least. So I don't know if this is important news. I just figured I would cover it. It was thrown into chat, and I thought, whatever, sure, we'll get out ahead.
Yeah,
of that.
they also announced that that Lewis Castle, who co-founded Westwood Studios and is partially responsible for Command and Conquer, joined the studio, and also God of War alumni Jonathan Hawkins and
cool.
Dean Reimer, and somebody from Black Ops, Tony Flame.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's not bad news necessarily.
Yeah, hopefully things are still on track.
Yeah. We have a bunch of Pokemon news. I'm going to push that off for a little bit longer. Aggro, did you see the Xbox controller they announced?
I've heard about it.
Imagine an Elite controller, but not too Elite because it doesn't come with any of the shit you would expect. It literally is just the Elite design with a bunch of sockets for you to shove in the parts that come on the Elite controller. They charge, what is that, $60 less, $70 less? And then they sell the fiddly bits separately for $60.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Are the fiddly bits that were sold separately the parts that weren't durable at all on the Elite?
No.
Oh.
But you could lose them pretty fucking easily.
They already had third parties making those, and they were better quality.
Yep.
Oh.
Really excited to get that really shitty D-pad, I guess.
For people who don't know, I'll now describe some of the fiddly bits. So they have the paddles, 4 different paddles on the back.
The main feature of the controller doesn't come with this version.
This version comes with the thumbstick adjustment tool, and I have no idea what that is, which is weird because we owned an Elite. But we owned the Series 1, right?
Yeah, I didn't add this till Series 2. You can adjust the tightness of the thumbsticks with that.
But the additional thumbsticks do not come with it. The additional D-pad, that is a different style D-pad, does not come with it. And it doesn't come with a carrying case. $130. This is basically the 360 arcade edition, but for a controller.
Yeah, I'm starting to think like this is the result of a corporate policy at Microsoft to look at a good thing Sony does and do the opposite and then act like it's a win.
Its name, by the way, is Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 Core. They gave a fucking game controller 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words in its name. Meanwhile, DualSense.
Core. Fuck off.
What was the DualSense that's Pro? Edge, I believe.
I think that's right.
Yeah, DualSense Edge, I think.
We just barely missed the hugest news of last week. Xbox and IHOP powering up to help you power up your meals with custom menu items.
Oh.
I need to look at this menu and see if I want to eat any of them.
How is this not a joke we just make?
Perfect
I know. It's Pancake Pass is a joke we would have made 100%. But you can get collectible Xbox syrup caddies.
Caddies?
Caddies.
Do they have pictures?
They've teamed up to create iconic IHOP syrups with an Xbox twist held in a collectible caddy and bundled with a bright blue Xbox wireless controller to discover your next favorite Xbox Game Pass anywhere.
No. What the fuck is syrup with an Xbox twist?
Right? Is it just green for no reason?
Right? Is there Mountain Dew in this shit?
It doesn't taste like syrup unless you have batteries.
So this is even more laughable than it seems on the surface.
Okay.
Because I misread. So yes, the items are everywhere. For a second, I thought it was only at the one near Microsoft campus, which is
press release for that. That'd be hilarious.
But that's only where they're doing the one where they will have Xboxes set up. But every IHOP should have the party animals pancake combo with 2 cupcake pancakes with pork sausage, links, hash browns, and 2 eggs over medium.
Well, Chris, I'm not feeling that. I'm gonna go for the Grounded, which is a big brunch steak burger with hickory smoked bacon, fried egg, crisp potato pancake, American cheese, and an IHOP sauce, whatever that is.
Served with a side of buttermilk pancakes.
Is a reference to Grounded because I just think it's a spider meal,
right?
Well, don't worry, Bob. There's a lot of us here. There's a lot of us here, so we have to get the Forza Family Feast. Fuel your crew without having to hit pause with the exclusive Forza Family Feast. Enjoy 4 servings each of scrambled eggs and golden hash browns, 8 hickory smoked bacon strips, 8 pork sausage links, and of course, 8 world famous buttermilk pancakes. Team up to take down this delicious feast today. Serves 4, available for a limited time through IHOP and Go only, not available for dine-in.
So here's my read on this. Maybe the audience will disagree. Maybe this is too myopic, narcissistic, whatever. Xbox got so tired of us seeing through their bullshit that they hired podcast comedians to steal our Armchair Devs episode in advance. Our Gamer Premonitions episode on where Game Pass will appear next. That's fucked up. That's not okay. You should feel bad for doing that.
Does eating this meal get us Game Pass?
Yeah, I think actually there is a thing that does Game Pass.
The IHOP's International Bank of Pancakes reward program will have a 1-month Ultimate Game Pass trial and full game download codes for Grounded, because that shit really ain't moving.
I'm surprised they're not using these meal tie-ins to advertise, upcoming games, in a synergistic way.
They
but
have those.
There is also the fear that if I were to order a meal at a restaurant based on an upcoming Xbox title, that it might become indefinitely delayed and then canceled.
Ma'am, excuse me. Me and my darling wife have been here for 50 minutes waiting for the Avowed meal.
Yeah, you're in line right behind the couple that ordered Scalebound.
So Matt Booty, I didn't think about. Oh yeah, we have other Xbox news to talk about. Matt Booty was at I believe it was PAX West, and he was making comments about he sure was. Yeah, he sure was, wasn't he? He was making comments. That thing he does so well. He made some comments about the flood of departures from the initiative and how it's fine. They just partner with other studios, and it's okay that they're partnering with Crystal Dynamics to make their game for them. That was the plan all along.
So what was the fucking 6 years? Wait, your plan was always to announce the game and then partner with the studio who would actually fucking make the game? That was always your plan.
Now
that was your plan. The 6 years of fucking development, job listings, all that shit. All that was set up to get someone else to do it.
So here's the fucking insane part. Andy Robinson from Playtonic, who talked to a number of different devs who were at the initiative, said, yeah, that was literally the plan from the beginning. That doesn't explain the departures. The departures are about the fact the initiative is the fucking worst, most toxic studio any of us have ever worked at. There's a major leadership issue. And it's to the point where these people, this sounds insane. These people aren't even just saying Microsoft. They're saying specifically the initiative because they went to other Microsoft studios.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking bad is it in there that you go, I wish I made Gears 5. Jesus Christ. Also, yes, I too think it's absolutely insane that Microsoft's solution for content isn't to make a studio from the ground up that can make a whole video game.
No.
They literally want to build a studio from the ground up to be the middleman.
Yeah, they wanted to be the idea guy studio for whatever reason.
Microsoft is not in the business of making video games. I don't know how else to explain this. They don't do it.
So, anyway. Boring shit. PS5 firmware update. 1440p. Sure.
Woo.
Reveal all hidden trophies button. Thank Christ.
Is this also the one that gives us folders? I heard it did, but I
Yes.
haven't been able to try.
Yes, this is
you
that
can
one.
just hit a button and reveal all hidden trophies.
Yeah.
Huh.
You could do that on the PS4. You can do it on the PS5 until now.
I didn't know that you could do that at all.
What am I even fighting for?
Weird. Okay.
Okay. And then the weirdest thing, well, actually, no, let's talk about the other boring thing. There is a thing in the OS that refers to the PSVR 2 already. That's pretty interesting for it to come out that early.
Yeah.
The interesting thing here, I haven't heard many people talk about this. I've heard basically no one. They have voice commands built into the PS5 that now hook into apps as well. So you could say, YouTube, hey, PlayStation. Sorry if you're playing this around your PS5. You can say, hey, PlayStation, YouTube search big women. And now we learned a lesson about listening to podcasts out of speakers next to our PlayStations, haven't we? Yeah, that's so it continues to confound me that Xbox had this feature at the launch of the One, and I thought it was the coolest thing about the Xbox One, and then they just ripped it out. Like,
Yeah,
why did
it's
you
weird
do
they
this?
never even. Could you plug a microphone in and keep getting it, or was it like, no, the Kinect is gone, so now it's gone?
I swear to God, I have hooked a microphone up to the Xbox, and it did not do it.
Yeah, I could have sworn they were like, no, we can't do that. That part of the technology is inside the Kinect.
Yeah, they said, well, not only that, they didn't say that specifically. They were saying the OS allocation for the Kinect is how that was powered. And as you recall, that took up 20-30% of the horsepower of the Xbox One. You know, the Xbox One, already a tragically underpowered console for that gen, and they took 30% to operate a camera. That pivot they made to get rid of the Kinect was the last time they had a fucking clue. Anyway, Pokemon news. I don't know how much of this I'm going to read. They showed off 2 more legendaries, one exclusive to each game, Ceruledge and Armor Rouge. These are badass fucking designs.
I didn't realize those were legendaries.
And neither did I.
Pretty sure.
I knew, because I'm like, there's no way they're just gonna hand out fucking Mega Man looking motherfuckers like walking through the grass.
I thought they would just be wandering around. I don't know.
I figured they'd be like, you have to beat like the fighting gym to get one. Or
People are saying they're not legendaries. You make a design that good and then you don't make it even like a pseudo legendary. That's bizarre.
that's what I was thinking. Pseudo legendary.
Yeah, we need something, because you know Mega Man Battle Network designs are really, really good. I'm gonna be honest. This is way cooler than the motorcycles. I'm really glad. They look awesome as hell. One of the coolest features they announced, which wasn't explained in the trailer they put out, which that trailer is like the best trailer this game has had. They have an auto battle system. So you can roam the open world, and they call it, what is it, Let's Go mode, and your Pokemon that you throw out will auto battle other Pokemon, retrieving items and gaining experience while you just explore.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
It's like usually when an RPG throws in it plays the game for you mode. I'm like, come on, guys. But that sounds neat as shit.
I think of this as like the Earthbound idea, where I'm just going to have an unbelievably strong Pokemon, and it'll just be like, play like the Earthbound encounter sound, and then that Pokemon will be dead. And it'll be great. This is awesome. They also showed a little bit more of the different routes and stuff. Team Star is shown off.
I'm glad that there's a fucking enemy team this time. And no, the 4 fucking fights against Team Yell grunts in fucking Sword and Shield does not an enemy team make.
I was gonna say, you're not gonna include Marnie Simps. That's not an enemy team to you.
I'm broken. So when they went to the Team Star characters and they both kind of T-posed at you looking, I just thought of that NBA fake trailer and thought that would have the Nazi symbols plastered on their head.
I am absolutely looking forward to seeing those guys do the star hand motion every time.
It's really good. It's really good. But yeah, no, it was really neat. Another thing I found interesting in the trailer is they show a gym challenge. In traditional Pokemon, the gym challenges, you go into the gym and conquer the puzzles and battles of the gym. And this is like, welcome to the gym challenge. find all of these Pokemon across this entire fucking city. And I'm like, hey, that makes sense with the open world shit. Like,
having ideas for what to do with that. Also, we got to see the map, which is literally the map from Arceus. I'm like, yes, of course it's building off stuff from that.
Right.
People who said it wasn't are insane.
yeah, no, it's awesome. It's looking good. I really like this. I also really like the gym leader throwing out. He throws out Sudowoodo, and then he gemifies. He bedazzles it into what he calls truly Wudo.
Really strong character designs so far.
Yes,
good stuff.
Yes, carrying on the tradition from Sword and Shield having really good character designs. Like I enjoy the character designs in Sword and Shield. It almost makes me more upset that there wasn't more story with it. All of them. Because they all rule so much.
That grass stem guy cheats. He shouldn't have a Sudowoodo. That's lying.
Bob, he's truly Wudo, so he's no longer lying.
That's true. He transforms. It's the only way that he gets to like make it true this without being a Gen 1 trainer.
Bob, this is what we call the most brilliant fucking joke on every Pokemon game we've played through. Where you go to a gym and then there's just some asshole who's like, I threw out this Pokemon, and you're like, but that's not a psychic. That doesn't actually fly. It's psychic coded.
How can you tell? What are you, psychic?
But yeah, no, this looks really good. Chris, did you have some stuff you wanted to say about this other than Herba Mystica?
No, it looks good. I'm really happy that this seems like it got enough time to cook.
Yeah, I think the Herba Mystica stuff's really funny with Arvin the upperclassman.
I wouldn't have expected that the real Pokemon game came out 3 years later.
Right? That is not something we predicted.
Oh man, skipping last gen has worked out so well for me.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, no, you picked the right time to skip.
Welcome to our new podcast series. Aggro has to watch the Bound Arc and play Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Same time?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man.
I guess the one last thing I do want to talk about is they have the giant enemy crab, which the Podlore did for Cloth.
Yeah, Cloth is great.
Cloth's a great name, a great design. I love it. But this giant Cloth is the Stony Cliff Titan. And so I'm excited to go explore the world and find all these other super titans.
Yeah, it's weird. That's an idea from Sun and Moon, where they had like the tribal Pokemon. No. There was like one big super Pokemon in each area. I was like, oh, that's like inside your gym battle. You have this.
Isn't
so? It's
we're
Totem,
getting
right?
Totem. That's it.
Yeah.
We're getting closer and closer to having the giant Gengar from the original anime series.
They made him a God, what was it? Gigantamax special Gengar.
Fuck Gigantamax. So,
I see.
Didn't count.
Fair.
Okay. With that out of the way, that's all my news. Let's go to Dr. Aggro.
Okay. Ubisoft.
And let's go to Bob.
Oh, really?
No, Aggro, continue.
Ubisoft, a completely professional company staffed by remarkably talented people who know what they're doing, accidentally put up a store page for The Division Heartland. So that's apparently still real, and we're probably going to be hearing about it soon. Their not sequel, we promise, giant PvPvE Battle Royale-esque hodgepodge monster.
Cool.
They have that thing on Saturday, so
yeah, I was gonna say we got the Assassin's Creed thing on Saturday. Probably
it's gonna be it's a brand new future for Ubisoft. Things are looking up, guys.
They sound like they might ship some games, which is an improvement over everything we've heard about them for at least a year and a half.
I don't believe any game they announce until it's out.
We might have a year where they release more games than executives. I'm just going to read this the way I wrote it.
Okay.
Sony reaffirms their commitment to not selling me any of their products in green.
Oh, cool.
By announcing a line of camo pattern peripherals and accessories in fucking grayscale. I bought a Vita. I bought Eye of Judgment. I don't deserve this kind of treatment. Make a fucking green one.
No, I'm
Did you
sorry.
buy Wonder Book?
No, of course not. It's got Harry
All
Potter.
I remember from
vibes on
Wonder
it.
Book is what was it? Is that Good Job, Johnny? Was
Yes.
that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. In a complete parallel moment, they announced the new iPhone.
Yeah.
It has some interesting features. I'll just cover it super briefly.
Like a lightning connector.
Yeah. Well, I was building up to that. You don't ruin the stand-up routine. What's wrong with you? Yeah, the weirdest thing about this phone, the lock screen. When you lock your phone, it turns the screen off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they built a shitload of tech into this to not do that. So your screen's just dim and keeps the time and some notifications on it when you look at it. It unlocks.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But it's the whole thing. It's like a wallpaper. Is that what yours is? No, see, your screen turns off at all.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't.
I can set it to always be on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but they built in a thing that refreshes the screen at 1 hertz. So it's 1 frame per second. So that way it's not draining your battery. And they also stuck an unbelievably bright screen on it, like brighter than a QLED bright. 1600 nits. My phone is 1000. It is last year's phone. Any human on Earth would agree this is a pretty fucking bright screen. This is 1000. The new one goes up to 1600. Outdoors can go to 2000. So they stick a couple cool features on this. They quadrupled the resolution of the camera sensor. It's got neat tricks in it. And then they put a lightning port on it. I'm like, no, absolutely not. Not happening. Even though I can trade this towards it, downgrade my capacity because I no longer have a need to take a shitload of photo and video.
Wasn't Europe supposed to solve this problem for us?
Yes, Europe needs to kick their knee.
Apparently, like the delayed knee braking doesn't land until next year.
Yeah, the real iPhone.
Yeah,
comes out next year. Almost as a cruel joke, they're like, "What's in the box? A Lightning to USB Type-C cable." I fucking hate you guys. I hate you so much.
Fucking kidding.
So yeah, anyways, they announced some really cool shit for a phone I won't buy on principle. And obviously don't need. This phone's incredible. In fact, I've tried to express this to people, but I didn't think they would start marketing it this way. They're like, just so you know, last year's iPhone is more powerful than any other phone on the market. Here's the charts. So anyway, this year's more powerful, but obviously last year's. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys, stop it. Anyways, that's it for the iPhone moment, other than $800 watch. $800. The Apple Watch Ultra?
Is the interior surface self-lubricating and I can strap it to my dick?
No. I know it's a staggering disappointment after hearing the $800 price.
Have haptics come far enough along?
No. No, sadly, this is just an $800 watch that it's got an enclosure around the whole screen, so that way if you bump the side of it, it'll hit the steel part instead of the screen part. Like, this isn't a feature. You could have designed it this way in the first fucking place.
No, it's impossible.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, it's stupid. Anyways, gaming news.
Awesome Games Done Quick had a January event scheduled live in Florida. But Florida is an enormous hellscape.
Yeah.
So let me read you their official statement here.
I am very curious what their official statement is.
I get my phone to believe that it's on.
If only it was never off.
While we would love to return in person, we've determined that to provide a safe and welcoming event to all, it was best that we move away from our originally planned location in Florida. Given the state's continued disregard for COVID-19's dangers, including anti-mandate vaccination policies, and an increased aggression toward LGBTQ+ individuals, including the law colloquially known as Don't Say Gay, we do not believe it is a safe place for our community at this time.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's
no
true.
shit.
Yeah.
ADQ in January has gone online because Florida sucks that hard.
Yep. It sure fucking does.
Yeah, I have to wonder if literally every event scheduler is going to be like, yeah, we just can't go to Florida.
I mean, businesses
At least in
are already
games,
doing
because there's not a lot of gaming sub communities that would have these kind of events that don't have a huge, at the very least, a plurality of LGBTQ plus individuals as part of the community. So it's like, yeah, I keep forgetting that there's not a camera on me, so I like shrug.
Right.
We'll get you eventually.
Just a shoulder cam.
What is he, the neighbor? He's behind a fence? I like to think of gaming as a vastly more diverse and open-hearted community, no
matter what Kotaku tells everybody else.
Compared to other conventions that might take place in Florida. God. And with that news out of the way, we're heading to Bob. Bob.
Yeah, let
Video
me see.
games?
Video games.
Video games.
They released 10 minutes of the Katana Zero's DLC, like footage of it.
Mm-hmm.
This game came out in April of 2019.
Okay.
This DLC is still just like they've been saying it's coming for like 2 years.
So it's our delicious last course.
This shit had better be standalone.
It's free, so I guess whatever.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Then.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was like, for their sake, I hope it's standalone. But if it's free, I'm okay. Sure, have fun.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't want to watch all of it because it's just the first 10 minutes of this DLC. I will play that when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But yeah, it looks neat. Still a cool looking game. Gundam Evolve, which that's the Gundam free-to-play first-person shooter.
Is it Evolve or Evolution? You wrote Evolution here.
Man, Evolution. I can't read my own writing. Jesus. It's typed.
Yeah. The fuck?
I can't read my own home address. It's looking at the door and the numbers are melting.
Yes. Dyslexia is bad.
Dyslexia is the bitch, ladies and gentlemen.
It has PC the 22nd this month, so it's right around the corner for PC.
2 weeks exactly.
Yeah, and then consoles in November 30th.
Okay, cool.
So that's neat. I've been wanting to try that. I missed both of the betas, so I don't know how it is. But this is their like Call of Duty-esque Gundam game.
Yeah,
right.
I'm really excited to try it. I'm glad I have a decent gaming PC.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in mechs for this?
Yeah, it's all in the mechs.
Oh, wild.
Yeah. Just in time for me and Bob to really get hyped up for Gundam, to rewatch it all, to then do ranking video.
Oh my god.
It's not ranking video.
Oh god.
Everyone's screaming Overwatch because, that's what it's been described as today.
I always see people say Overwatch, and I'm like, I don't see like the special powers per class or anything. It looks like they just have guns.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't played the beta though, so I don't know. The only other thing I watched was the Nisa America event, which most of the stuff leaked last week, but we see in detail what it is now, so I'll go ahead and cover it.
Oh, you watched the Nipponichi Software of America event?
Yes.
ATM machine.
Yes.
Anyways, what's up?
The first game they showed off was Void Terrarium, which, oh my god, the spelling of this game is insane. VOID asterisk lowercase c, uppercase R, lowercase r, uppercase L, uppercase M, 2, open parentheses.
Yeah. And then semicolon?
Yeah, that's semicolon.
Okay, anyways, what is this?
It looks kind of neat. I can't really tell what the gameplay is, but you play as this robot in a dystopian future raising the last human, and she keeps getting horrible infections, and you have to get like cures for her and also farm.
Okay.
And also farm. And you're a witch, and you're depressed.
And there's a timer, and people start dying if you don't get a thing in time.
Probably.
And it's near, and it's Steven Universe.
But yeah, the last human is like this little girl who's got a tree growing out of her head. So clearly she's not doing too well. Next thing they showed was
did you mention when it's coming?
Oh yeah, whoops. Spring 2023.
I'm ready to check out. PS4 and Switch.
Yep.
Okay, continue.
Process of elimination was then shown.
Process of elimination.
It comes out early 2023. It's going to be PS4 and Switch. It's a visual novel, I think, but it's very unclear.
It's a visual novel. It's about there's a serial killer who has killed over like 100 people, all the greatest detectives in the world come to one spot to suss out who this serial killer is, including the protagonist, who is not a famous detective, but is some dipshit amateur detective. Then it turns out that one of them is the serial killer.
That makes sense. It works. Then they showed Monster Menu, the Scavenger's Cookbook. That's coming out 2023. They didn't say when, but it's going to be PS4, PS5, and Switch. This is a dungeon crawler with the style of like Disgaea 6. So this is made in-house by Nippon Ichi.
Oh, okay.
You have like a set of 6 adventurers that are going through the dungeon, and you can customize them. Like they're pre-made design, but you can change their hair and skin color and stuff. I was like, that's neat. And it's all about being stuck in the dungeon and having to make food out of the creatures. I believe this is literally the plot of some manga.
Yep. Well, I mean, in the manga, they don't have to. They just got really into it.
They seem like they get really into it in the trailer too.
Initially, they have to, because the conceit is we don't have time to get supplies. We have to go in.
So the anime comes out sometime soon. It got announced by Trigger. I'm very excited to watch that.
Trigger's doing that?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Then they moved on to Raiden 4.
Ex Mikado remix?
Ex Mikado remix. This game's already been released on consoles, but this is the Ex Mikado remix.
Oh.
It's going to be on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. It comes out the end of January next year.
This game has already been released on consoles. I'm like, Raiden 3 was on the PS1. I'm pretty sure. Shit, Raiden 4 has been released by now.
Released on these consoles. So this is just another edition. Adds new music, new levels, and new modes. The new music includes live recordings of some tracks.
Ooh.
So you get that experience.
Is it like listening to AC/DC live?
I hope not. I don't know. And then their big show closer was that they are the ones bringing over Grim Grimoire once more. It's coming out in spring the next year. That's going to be PS4, PS5, and Switch.
Cool.
And VanillaWare will trick me into buying this game again.
Good.
I didn't buy it the first time. I'll get tricked this time. Look,
as everyone points at the
Odin
fucking
Sphere,
open manhole.
They just made Odin Sphere into an entirely different game.
Right.
Yes.
So maybe they did that again.
Maybe. It's very possible.
Hey, Bob.
And if they did do that, I'm going to go, well, you're insane. Why did you do this one instead of Muramasa?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they're building up to that.
Yeah, clearly that's just the next thing after this. We have to dig through this.
We couldn't follow up 13 Sentinels with a Muramasa perfection. You can't do that.
We lost our Vita and we're still looking for it.
Yeah, that's why.
But it was a Wii game initially.
But they want that Vita version to work from. Bob, were you not watching? I thought it was a part of the NISA America thing, the Shinobi-Do thing.
Oh, yeah, but that was just in their sizzle reel, so it wasn't really anything new. It
like
was
they didn't have hard details. They just,
No, it's
but
just
that
like-
does mean they're bringing it over.
Yeah, which we knew already, I'm pretty sure. Like, all that stuff that at the beginning, sizzle reel, just stuff they announced months ago.
Do you remember what the name of that game was again? Because
It's a mess. No, it's like a...
For anyone who doesn't know, Shinobi-Do is made by the Acquire, which is the original Tenchu people. They made Shinobi-Do 1 and 2, and this is blatantly just another one of those.
Yeah, but you play as a thief in this one.
Yes.
But
But yeah, that looked cool.
yeah, no,
I'm very excited.
it's coming out this year sometime. I'm very hopeful for it.
That rules. Well, we're going to go to Chris next. Chris.
So Randy Pitchford.
Okay, we're going to go back to aggro.
Make a goddamn green one, you sons of bitch.
Okay, we're going back to Chris.
So there's a charity for like developers, like to send developers to school or some shit like that.
Oh, no.
The charity isn't important. But Randy Pitchford somehow found a way to make it about him,
Oh.
which
Of
is
course.
he gave them a bunch of his shirts to auction off in case you want to own one of Randy Pitchford's loud, tacky shirts, which are so caked in grease, I can't imagine a human being could ever get it off.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
I fucking
And
hate that guy.
He's such a bizarre narcissist.
Who would even buy
Where-
those?
There's not even the like I'm donation matching however much these get sold for. Maybe he came out after the initial announcement and said something like that because people started burning him alive. But maybe he did that, but he didn't initially. So it's like, how is this not just, aren't I so trendy? Don't you want one of my shirts, which are like Hawaiian shirts, but pastel? And I'm like, no, nobody wants that.
They look like shitty off strip Vegas magician shirts, which is basically what the man is.
What you are, but
faith, the truth in advertising.
If you're gonna wear those, can you at least be gay? Can you at least do that for me? So it feels appropriate at all.
You're asking Pitchford to do something he simply cannot.
Cyberpunk.
Going back to Bob.
Cyberpunk is getting an expansion called Phantom Liberty. It's launching in 2023. Keanu Reeves is returning. There also is a patch out now with some new items and like a new mini game and stuff based on the new anime. This patch is the last support the last gen versions are getting.
Finally.
Damn,
so they're not getting this fucking expansion.
Classist. No, they're wasting their time on a version that simply should have never existed.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
true.
Truth. That's actually really exciting. I push my playthrough Cyberpunk even further into the future.
So Microsoft acquisition stuff. Basically, Jim Ryan's like, the we're keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation thing is only for 3 years and fuck that. And that like this is such a bullshit acquisition that it shouldn't happen. And then all of the stupidest people in the world got activated like sleeper agents and ran to their phones or Twitter as fast as possible to post variants of, and whenever anybody says what I'm about to say about a giant company, any version of it, they are just confessing to be brain dead, and you never have to listen to anything they have to say ever again. Any variant of, it's their right. Whenever the fucking the barrier they try to throw up when a giant company is being terrible, whenever it's any variant of it's their right to do that, you can safely disregard that person, anything that person says ever again. Ryan McCaffrey.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
That was infuriatingly stupid. That tweet actually pissed me off. I know Ryan McCaffrey is the most I don't understand what's at stake, and I just see Xbox as my buddy from high school. Like, I understand that's the level he's coming in at, but this tweet was absolutely infuriating. Like, it just shows a level of, you don't understand what's at stake. This is the third largest company in the world trying to buy most of an industry in one go. It's okay, though. It's all ball. Anyway, there's the
some of the God, he even has the fucking hideous looking thing as his fucking...
Yeah, he's got his avatar. You remember avatars?
Even Xbox deleted them, but he wouldn't let it go.
No.
And a lot of people also put up variants that seem to boil down to Microsoft should be allowed to have this. They're the underdog because they've torched all of their previous platforms through sheer incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
And studios.
Sony didn't twist Microsoft's arm and force them to release the Xbox One $100 above the PS4 and do that terrible E3 where it's like, no used games, always online. Oh shit, where'd all our sales go for the whole fucking gen?
Even though I know I shouldn't preempt this information because, being wrong about something drives engagement. This is 3 years past the current deal. So guys, calm down. It's only 5 years.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
5 or 6 years.
I like even in that.
Isn't that good enough?
In that press, like this series has been going for 20 years.
Right? I do. Yeah, and then you have insane people. And then you have insane people like fucking Paul Tassi from Forbes saying, doesn't really matter. Call of Duty's past its prime. Doesn't matter anymore. Warzone isn't one of the biggest games on the planet.
I don't like a thing, so I don't care what antitrust shit is done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool, great, awesome. You're so smart, Jesus. You can walk around with a brain that big? That's impressive.
Yeah, every single commenter on this has been so insane.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how they can even function.
People just want to be nice to Microsoft because they're losing, and I'm like, they're losing for a reason.
Yeah, like, oh no, they spent the last 10 years fucking up galactically, so they should be allowed to mar the industry in whatever way they want to be able to, get back on their feet after the tough time they caused themselves.
Right. Yeah. This is such a misunderstanding of what it means to compete and do better to win at a marketplace.
Yeah, I saw people complain, but Sony has the exclusive Spider-Man, and it's like
they made it.
They made it. Marvel offered Xbox it first.
Firstly, no one in their right fucking mind can complain about you making a game because it doesn't happen.
That's what I was saying earlier. Microsoft, the reason they're doing this is they're not in the business of making video games. They're in the business of buying video game companies and destroying them.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, the takes that I saw were just so galactically stupid.
Yeah, Jim Ryan's just a whiny baby for saying this. Like, no, he's doing this to let everyone know, the public know, Phil Spencer and other heads of Xbox are lying to you. Lying to you, lying to the boards assessing this directly.
Well, yeah, of course. Like, they're not going to cop to, this is pretty anti-competitive, lol. Like, that's not going to fucking happen.
Right. Well, come on. We're not going to do the exact same thing we did when we bought Bethesda.
No. Why would we do that?
Come on.
Look at Minecraft. We didn't do that to Minecraft.
You guys remember Gears 2? It was good times.
We're your bro. Anyways, what was it? Daniel Ahmad took to Twitter to explain Sony was Activision Blizzard's largest customer in 2020, being 17% of its sales. And it's like, yeah, I definitely don't see anything weird Fallout-wise, fiscally speaking, happening because of this. Yeah, this sucks.
The funniest, I mean, on some level, it would be funny for Microsoft to successfully acquire them and then never ever make even a fraction of that money back.
Yeah. I mean,
like, it's already a pretty fucking steep climb to reclaim $70 billion.
Now, I'm going to talk about this from the weirdest angle possible, I think. Let's say you love Xbox and you don't see how this is a net negative. You're going to start getting free Call of Duties. Now, I'm going to ignore the part where, of course, the Call of Duties will not be as high rent and made by 2,000 people because it's on a subscription service. I'm going to ignore that.
Yeah, no Microsoft fan seems to have like squared the circle of you're now signed, like all Microsoft games now, and the games of any company they buy that you want them to buy now are going to turn into like the game equivalent of streaming service shows.
Yes.
Where it's like they transparently have less money. Because we just had that thing of who was it? What, I'm missing the name. He was on like the Hot Ones and he explained why good movies aren't made anymore.
Oh, you're talking about Matt Damon? Or was it
Matt Damon. We just had that big viral thing with Matt Damon saying streaming services fundamentally changed the way the industry works and made it worse. And then when you point out, obviously that applies to Game Pass, they just go, no, it's different for some reason. Phil Spencer said that wouldn't happen.
It's like, okay, so you get Matt Damon talking about the film industry explaining that. You have a decade straight of people explaining this about music as an industry for streaming services. And somehow we still have these people who are willing to believe that the gaming industry is just built different.
You can look at Halo Infinite.
Right.
You can look at released games from Microsoft and be like, oh, they clearly the quality went down. Gears 5 turned into open world nonsense.
And it's not high rent open world nonsense. It's clearly just this game needed to get out. We're not going to try this hard ever again. But like the angle I was going to come at that I've seen nobody address this from. Do you realize what will fucking you fucking idiot? Do you realize what'll happen if Call of Duty isn't on PlayStation? That's a power vacuum. We're going to start seeing shitty AAA shooters like it's fucking 7th gen again, you goddamn idiots.
Do you want to play?
No, General Radix can come back. No.
Somebody call Insomniac. I have an idea. Never mind, false alarm. Let them do it.
If this sale gets hammered through, if every regulatory board in the world fails and this happens, there's no way that Sony is not like, get somebody fucking Resistance or Killzone. It needs to come back. We need one.
I'll be honest, that was the first thing I thought. I'm like, Aggro's going to think this is good news.
You're thinking these good ones. You're thinking Resistance. You're thinking Killzone. I'm thinking Homefront.
Right.
Homefront 10.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah, why
you
don't
guys
we?
are just upset because you know you'll have to play all of them at some point.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, I wish Sony would greenlight fucking anything. Like, just go ahead. Resistance 4, let's go, baby. Like, Killzone 6, let's do it. I'm always interested in more bad ideas. There's one thing this podcast network has proven. I am interested in being the person who dives into the black hole. How was the Resident Evil Netflix series? I wish I didn't know, but here you go.
Maybe Time Splitters will come back.
It's supposed to be coming back.
It's supposed to be. Where the fuck are the receipts? I need this shit. It needs to be out.
Before I'm gonna skip it to the last thing because it's very, very small. Velma in Multiversus has lost the white woman's greatest weapon.
What happened?
She can no longer call the police on you.
Oh no.
They decided that the optics of that in 2022 was maybe not so great,
Right.
so they replaced it with the mystery machine. I
Aw.
think they should have just added, given every character an animation of their head coming off and it being Old Man Jenkins under it.
Yes.
But that this was probably an easier solution.
No fun zone.
And then
modern
finally,
video games.
EA has established a new studio, Ridgeline Games, to make. They're going to make the campaigns for Battlefield from now on.
Oh,
That's what they exist to do.
no, wait, this is what I was just talking about. Bad shooting. I didn't read Field News.
Oh, you didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yup.
Like it's not separate games. It's just like, man, our campaigns have been dog shit. Have a studio that only exists to make them, and then staple them onto the multiplayer we're going to ship. That doesn't seem like it's going to work, honestly.
They're just doing what COD's doing.
Yeah, I was like, this is definitely the COD model.
Because that's the thing. A lot of the multiplayer for a lot of COD games has been developed partially or primarily by Beanox and other Activision studios. The single player has changed hands the whole time. So they literally were like, hey, it's time for us to do the COD system. Maybe that'll work. Oh, don't bring up Raven.
Maybe.
Don't bring up Raven. I don't want to think about Raven. God, that sucks. Fuck. So that's... I'm tired of Battlefield.
See, and that's the thing. People with these acquisitions, people always bring up, well, now this good thing could happen. I'm like, it's not going to happen. You don't spend $70 billion acquiring a company to then go in and give them more money to make these fucking niche things that you want. They're not going to be like, we own id and Raven now. We can bring back Heretic. That not gonna fucking happen. It's not going to happen.
It's a rule of thumb for life. Nobody spends $70 billion to do something good.
That's true.
No.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really funny if they do this acquisition does go through. And then since the Call of Duty is now handled by Microsoft, it just doesn't release for 5 years. And then the first game in 5 years is out only on Xbox, and everyone forgot what the franchise is.
I mean, that is how they solved the not making any next-gen exclusives.
Yes.
By virtually making nothing for 2 years. By the way, I should have drawn this parallel earlier. Matt Booty compared the situation with the initiative and outsourcing of that development to Flight Sim. He's like, it's like how we got that studio to make Flight Sim. I'm like, you had anyone internal over that game? Because I do not believe you did.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I've never heard of anyone from Microsoft being like, and here was the team working with them. It's always the studio made Flight Sim. Also,
again, I'm not inclined to even believe the Platonic guy, because it's like, you announced the game and showed a trailer before it started, like 6 months before it started development, 6 months before you even partnered with the studio you were like, what? That's so insane as a concept.
I forgot to bring in the worst part of this news.
Management in Microsoft is really bad.
I genuinely was trying to be positive, and I was like, I'm not going to write this part of the news down. It's fucking horrible. The worst part of this news is Matt Booty's like, I keep telling Playgrounds, we need to show a trailer for Fable. It's ready. They're like, no.
I decided to be really charitable to Microsoft, undeservedly as always, because being charitable to them at all at this point is undeserved. They better fucking show every single game that was at that Series X thing, Avowed, Everwild, Fable. I forget if there was anything else.
I feel like there's one more.
Yeah.
We need to see those games next year. It's been 3 years since you announced them. It's time for us to see anything.
Yeah, it just keeps going. Yeah, that's true. Forza Motorsport is also one of those games, but we did see that one.
Yeah, Perfect Dark. We haven't seen that yet at all.
We haven't seen that at all. We haven't seen
They
anything.
didn't announce Perfect Dark then. They didn't officially announce Perfect Dark until last year. Remember? It was at the Game Awards.
That was only last year.
What?
That was the most recent Game Awards.
I thought
That's
that was
why we
2020.
immediately started. No, it was last
They
year.
were just talking about the quadruple A game forever, and everybody knew it was Perfect
Right,
Dark.
yeah. Also, we haven't seen Indiana Jones, but I think that was well after the Series X
That
reveal.
was well after that. I don't count that as a real reveal. They just said they were making it.
Oh yeah, and there's that other game being made by some other random company. Oh my god, what was it?
I was like, is it the Redfall thing?
No,
or
it's not
some other
Redfall.
thing?
It was like about mercenaries or something.
Oh, the Contraband, I think
Yeah,
is what it's called.
Contraband.
It's by
Contraband.
Avalanche, the
Yep.
Just Cause guys.
Yep. There are a lot of
But
games they have announced that we have seen absolutely nothing of because they're nowhere near
Contraband
done.
was 2001, so they get it. It was 2021. My metric is you get 3 years after your CG announcement trailer. I have to see gameplay at that point.
It's just been weird as for like, it feels like Microsoft fell asleep for 6 years there. Just feels like they stopped shipping stuff a couple years into the Xbox One,
And they
aside
woke
from-
up hungry.
Like not to be unfair and compare them directly to Sony, but that PS5 event, Final Fantasy 16, that's coming out 3 years after.
Mhm.
Miles Morales was the same year.
Mhm.
Demon Souls was the same year. Ragnarok was at the very end of that. That's coming out 2 years after. And these are out, not just we see gameplay out. They're released.
And this,
Gran Turismo.
yeah, and that's out and beautiful. God damn, love that game. This is why it's farcical anytime anyone rides Sony's ass on delays.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they delay it and then it comes out and it's fucking good. What's the complaint here? Like,
Sony and Nintendo ship games fucking constantly.
yeah,
They
Nintendo's
ship-
practically a factory. Yeah. But it's good quality, so no complaints. But yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Anyways, that's it for news. Bob and I will be playing, like, we are getting into the part of Armored Core month where it fucking rules. 60 frames per second. We get Overdrive. You know what Overdrive is?
It's that game Insomniac made for Microsoft.
No, that's Sunset. That's Sunset Over.
That's you're thinking of Fuse, which was originally Overstrike, which Insomniac made for EA, and they ruined halfway through development.
That's
Wait,
Sun
who-
Drive Overstrike.
Who made Sunset Overdrive?
That's also
Insomniac,
Okay.
they also made that.
But,
Aggro, you don't remember that game? You were in it.
Have you not seen? Have you not seen
They-
that
they-
stream?
They made you
Did
their
he not-
player character when they played Sunset Overdrive.
He never knew.
No one tweeted
His
this at me.
entire playthrough of this game as you, and no one tweeted you.
I don't recall it.
I think it's really sold by the moment a guy asks the player Aggro, you know how to use a gun? And he says, I'm an American. Hell yeah, I know how to use a gun.
I mean, that does sound like me.
That's great.
Holy fuck!
So you have something to watch.
Apparently,
Yeah, the overboost in fucking Armored Core. You click R3, and you just see the back of your mech start pissing particles for a second, ramp up sound, and then all of your energy into movement forward. It is so good. That game is amazing. Every time, just to be clear, every time I've ever been like, I loved From Software so much at the beginning of the PS2, it's Evergrace and Armored Core 2 primarily.
mm-hmm.
They did amazing shit.
I never played much Armored Core, but every little bit I've played is like, oh, these guys get what's cool about robots.
They do.
Yes.
100%. I'm so excited for Armored Core to come back, even if it looks like they dipped it in the dip that is Dark Souls. I'm
it's
so
gonna be
excited.
gothic castles and all the particle effects from Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring.
This is gonna be like fucking crazy how this weird gothic castle was on Mars.
You're gonna press R1 to raise your gun and then fire.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna
feel exactly like using a spell in Elden Ring to shoot.
Jesus.
But I'm very excited for that. Armored Core month continues to be real good. Aggro, what do you have planned for the next week?
I apparently need to watch a VOD. I'm gonna crawl my way through a bunch more Cyberpunk and see if I can, I don't know, find the part where there's a mission that's problematic. I assume there's one in there, but nobody found it.
Yeah,
because of all the other shit going on at launch.
Probably. By the way, the best part of Sunset Overdrive with you is since we made a big character, they pitch shift the voice actor for Spider-Man down. It's such a brilliant system. Chris, what do you have going on in the next week?
I'm gonna stream something I don't know yet. I intend to stream Life is Strange 3, that being True Colors, at some point, because everybody was like, this is like if they made Life is Strange 1 but good. And also it's free on Game Pass, so I don't have to pay money for it.
It's Life is Strange 3 made by this Don't Nod?
No.
Yeah.
Don't Nod made Life is Strange 1 and Life is Strange 2. Life is Strange Colors is made by Deck 9, who also made the prequel to Life is Strange Before the Storm, which I don't see why I should ever play, because it's a game about Chloe, the character voiced by by Ashley Birch, except she isn't even Ashley Birch in this prequel.
Oh.
And also, why would I want a prequel about these characters?
1 second. I'm going to throw that on screen, Aggro. Don't, We got that picture sent in. That way Aggro could see how he looked in our Sunset Overdrive playthrough. Let me get these out of the way, and God, it was a tight fit. But, I think he made it work.
That is terrifying.
Yes. Aggro, just imagine you took an entire year of your life and dedicated it to become a JoJo level of fitness.
I need that modded into The Last of Us. Fuck Joel. I want to play as that thing.
I'm super interested in watching Chris stream Life is Strange 3, because now that I've experienced the Don't Nod experience of this sure is Remember Me Too, I'm super interested in seeing anyone else cover this.
I wonder if it's like former developers who left Don't Nod to make this, or just entirely new people.
I assume entirely new people. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for Big Think Dimension. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
You've never had to do this.
No. Should I now?
Yeah, I think you should do it now. Shoot from the hip.
Everyone should go over to our Patreon. What is it again?
Patreon.com/GB podcast.
It's patreon.com/GB podcast, where you can get extra stuff like extra early armchair dev pitches. Wait, no, you don't get that. You get extra content for armchair dev pitches that doesn't make it into the show. And you get early access to Chugging Bleach, the only Bleach-related podcast on the GigaBoots podcast network.
You got to wrap this. We're going to have to cut you off.
Okay.
No, you got to wrap this. Doesn't mean stop talking now.
Go to Patreon.